Okay. Welcome, one and all, to yet another episode of WIC TV. It's a cross-ideological space where we come together to talk about issues both political and cultural, from the silly to the serious. And we have what I would consider a fairly serious topic today. We're going to be talking about Trump's handling of the Epstein files. A few months ago, at this point, Pam Bondi said she had them on her desk ready to go. And now the line is that they are a hoax, is what Trump calls them. A hoax made up by Obama and Clinton, Hillary Clinton. In his latest post, and I'll just read this for you all verbatim, he says this: "The radical left Democrats have hit pay dirt again. Just like with the fake and fully discredited Steele dossier, the lying 51 intelligence agents, the laptop from hell, which DMs swore had come from West Russia. No, it came from Hunter Biden's bathroom. And even the Russia scam itself, a totally fake and made-up story used in order to hide crooked Hillary Clinton's big loss in the 2016 presidential election. These scams and hoaxes are all the Democrats are good at. It's all they have. They are no good at governing, no good at policy, no good at picking winning candidates. Also, unlike Republicans, they stick together like glue. Their new scam is what we will forever call the Jeffrey Epstein hoax. And my past supporters have bought into this bullshit hook, line, and sinker. They haven't learned their lesson and probably never will, even after being conned by the lunatic left for 8 long years. I've had more success in 6 months than perhaps any president in our country's history, and all these people want to talk about, with strong prodding by the fake news and the success-starved Dems, is the Jeffrey Epstein hoax. Let these weaklings continue forward and do the Democrats' work. Don't even think about talking of our incredible and unprecedented successes, because I don't want their support anymore. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Make America great again." So the question on today's show is this all a hoax? Is Trump handling this well? Or is Trump actually on the Epstein list? We have some great guests to talk about it. I'm going to give the mic first to a friend of mine, Irrelevant, friend of the show, and then we'll kind of go around the room. Irrelevant, go ahead. Give us your opening thoughts.
So my opening thoughts are pretty basic. I feel like it's pretty transparent that he's worried about what people might say or think once they see the information contained in there. There is no earthly reason. There's not a logical, coherent reason why it shouldn't be presented to the general public. There's just no reason given that makes any sense. If it's a big hoax, if it's all of these, whatever stuff, just allow the American public to decide for all of that. Ghislaine Maxwell offered to be able to testify about the client list. Congress offering to do this. It makes no sense to not make it public. He's worried about what will happen once people see what's inside. So, yeah, I mean, I'm interested to see how people defend this. It's like, okay.
Well, thank you for being here, and I guess we'll find out. First-time guest on my show, hopefully not last-time guest. Thank you for being here. Jake Ver. Is that how you say your last name?
Var.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes.
Tell people who you are, what you do, and what are your thoughts. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm Jake Var. I run a YouTube channel called Project Veopod. I'm also on Rumble, etc. And you can find me on X and Instagram with just Jake Var. It's very simple there. But yeah, as far as my thoughts go on this particular topic, I've noticed that when it comes to the Democrats or the lefts in general, they never gave a flying fuck about the Epstein files in general. Like, nobody really cared about it. It was really just the MAGA movement that talked about the Epstein files. Till today, it's been divided. And Trump, by saying that there's nothing to look over here, guys, fucking, there's no client list, there's none of this. It is backtracking. That is 100% true. However, now I just find it very interesting that now all of a sudden liberals are all of a sudden very interested in the Epstein files when they had really no particular interest at all. So I will tell you this. I don't know if I'll call it a hoax. I think there is a list. I think there is a blackmail list. I would call it the blackmail list. And I can go into further descriptors of that later in the show.
Okay, I guess we'll figure it out as we go. Tristan, hello.
Hello. What's up, guys? Typically, I make rideshare content, but my guilty pleasure is doing debates. One way that I like to rate my presidents is based off of what they say when they're campaigning and what they execute on. And whether you're a Democrat, whether you're a Republican, unfortunately or fortunately, your president is Trump. And if he promised that he's going to do something, whether we like it or not, we shouldn't be made to feel bad if he does a 180 on us. So that's my general take, and we'll see how that evolves throughout this conversation.
Well, thank you for being here. Really excited to have you again. Next up, also first time on my show, coming highly recommended, Rachel. Rachel, tell people who you are, what you do, and what are your thoughts?
Yeah. Okay. So, Rachel's Ghost. I have a YouTube channel just started last month with my friend Blake McKenzie. I'm here by the good graces of Sarah, the Raging Tomato, the lovely, the gorgeous, the effervescent Sarah, the Raging Tomato. So everybody should be subscribed to that channel. I'm going to be with Jake. I'm going to be riding Jake's coattails all the way through this thing. Maybe I should, switch hats. But we'll stick with the Stetson here. So my thoughts are that Trump is idiosyncratic. He delivers. He's made promises made, promises kept. Has been a byword for this president in every positive way. You want to know about the rationale, how we would defend it. We've got to consider victims, and we'll talk about those victims. We'll talk about non-disclosure agreements that were signed and sealed under court of law, where these people were brought up in trial. Remember, Ghislaine Maxwell is in jail. So really looking forward to being here, and I thank you, Wick, for hosting me on this first appearance. I hope I don't let the team down. We want to be fun and have a good discussion with everybody, with a lot of respect for everybody, regardless of where you are on this, political spectrum of ours.
Okay, well, glad to have you all here. And with that, the floor is open. We can have a discussion and things like that. I guess my first question, though, to your side, Rachel and Jake, is if it's not a hoax, Jake, then why is Trump saying it is? And then it's a discussion. It's open discussion, so people can just jump in. But that'll be the jumping off point. Yeah,
that's a really good question right off the bat. So again, at this point, it's all speculation, Wick. It's all speculation. But if I had to guess, if you look at the Epstein files and Jeffrey Epstein's past and his affiliation when it comes to a particular state in the Middle East, I think we all know what I'm talking about here. Can I actually use the words terminology here, Wick, or
what are you trying? Like, what are you
the
hinting
J
at?
people?
I know what he means.
You
can say Israel if you want to say Israel.
Israel, okay. The state of Israel, etc. Yeah, Jeffrey Epstein, from what I believe, which would be the most likely reason why Trump is kind of covering up, is because Jeffrey Epstein was associated with Mossad. And Mossad has a massive amount of history spying on the United States. If these files come out, it would show that Israel has been funding a PDF file ring here in the United States, committing lots of crimes. And we know that, to be honest, Trump is very much more, rubbing.
If that was okay, because you said a couple of you said a couple of things there, and you're loading a lot. So if that was true, why is all of the Democrats in Congress voting?
Yeah, this is a nonpartisan issue. Yeah, this is not a nonpartisan issue.
If what you're claiming is that Mossad and Israel have all of this blackmail and all of these politicians,
sure,
then why is every single Democrat not worried about the blackmail?
Yeah, right now.
Is it every single one of them?
Yeah, pretty much. Two or like three?
No, bro. So when Biden was in power, nobody was talking about the Epstein files. That's the thing. Nobody cared.
You're literally living in a delusional.
Let him finish. Hold on. Let him finish. Let him get through it, and then then you can interrogate him. Go ahead. Go ahead, Jake. Yeah, finish.
Yeah, no, yeah. I was just saying. Yeah, I was just going back to my point here, is that when it comes to the Democratic Party, if you look at the lobbyism of the Jewish, the AIPACs and the Jewish lobbyists, they fund the Democrats and the Republicans. This is a nonpartisan issue here. Democrats like Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, even everybody from Ted Cruz, etc., they all agree on protecting Israel, funding Israel. We give them $4 billion per year. This is nonpartisan, right? When the Democrats were in power, they didn't give a shit. It was the MAGA, specifically the MAGAs, that were very emphasizing on the Epstein files, right? So yeah, I mean, this is why the Democrats didn't release it neither, you know. And if Trump was on the list, they could have easily have leaked out a portion of those Epstein files to the public, and show that Trump was on that list here. So there are some things I don't think he was. Is it possible? Sure, but I don't think that's the case.
And with the power they had, where you have antagonists like John Brennan, you've got Jake Clapper, you've got James Comey, you've got people in very powerful, influential positions that could have said, we're going to gatekeep this, we're going to allow the BART on Trump, and we're going to delete, we're going to excise, we're going to redact whatever we need to redact. And the way we want, but we're going to make sure Trump's name out there. Why do we need Russian prostitutes pissing on this fucker when we can go out and we can just nail him with some actual, you throw a kid in the bed with them off on some island and we've got all the evidence we need.
Exactly.
You are done. And in that instance, MAGA is dead right at that one instant. It never happened. Why didn't they do the kill shot? They can do it in Butler, but they can't do it through paperwork and the Epstein Island. You had it all. You had Smoking Joe, who was just as sharp as a tack, from what I'm understanding.
Can I interrupt? Is that a thing I can do?
Yes,
now?
Go ahead.
Okay, all right.
Okay,
so
go.
I don't know if you're fighting with your imaginary friend or what it is, but the Democrats were concerned over the Epstein situation, even while Joe Biden was president. Okay, I want it noted though that
Epstein did they advocate to release him?
Killed. Excuse me.
Hold on.
I want it noted that Epstein was killed under Trump's watch, by
Yes.
the way, in a federal prison. That's very interesting. That under Trump's watch that happened. But even beyond that, if you're for this conspiracy that you're trying to draw out, it makes no sense for the Democrats, who are apparently held under blackmail by Mossad, to be voting to make the Epstein files public. It makes no sense. If it is true that they were blackmailed by Israel, and as you said, it was in Israel's best interest to keep these files under wraps in order to shroud their control over the American political system. It would make no sense for them to all vote to make the Epstein files public. It makes no sense. So I don't know why you're just fighting.
So why didn't they advocate to release the files when Joe Biden was in power?
I believe it's not just Republicans that are being implicated in this.
Can I ask him that question really quick? Why didn't they advocate? Why didn't they release it during Joe Biden's administration?
Well, like
they had 4 years.
I forgot what this. Pardon me, I don't remember your name. But like he was talking about,
Jake.
I imagine there was other people, Democrats as well, implicated in this. But also because the political will for somebody actively participating in a very, very public cover up of the Epstein situation, Trump.
Who?
Trump.
Okay, so you believe
Trump is actively
So
Trump is saying
if Trump was on the Epstein files,
hold on, Jake, quick, calm down. You gotta let Irrelevant finish this time. Go ahead.
It's not a matter of opinion. Trump is right now. You can again fight with your imaginary friend if you like. Trump is right now saying there is no Epstein client list.
I agree.
All that stuff that Pam Bondi was saying earlier.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not a thing. That's not a real
Never
thing.
disagree with that.
It's totally. You're going to keep talking. It's totally just a fabrication. Trump is attempting a cover up of the Epstein.
Sure, just like the
He's
Democrats.
saying it's not a big deal. I don't know why you keep talking. He is attempting to do that right now. So this idea that it's not happening, it is. And once the Democrats saw this was happening, they're voting to be able to make it public. My simple question is, if every single Democrat is apparently held under blackmail, all of them all of a sudden grew a spine. All of them all of a sudden grew a spine. The Republicans should have met them halfway. Why didn't the Republicans vote to release the Epstein files if all of the Democrats did?
Yeah, so there was a bunch of straw mans there that he wanted to leak out right there, like right off the bat, whole bunch of straw mans. I never said that that every single Democrat is on the list or it's XYZ. It was a bunch of fucking nonsense here, bunch of straw mans. Look, again,
I never said
during the Biden administration, if they cared about the Epstein files so much, and you believe, is this your belief that Trump is on the Epstein files? This is why he's doing the hoax and the cover up? Is that your belief?
I have no idea. I don't know why you put words.
What's your theory?
I have. Stop. You asked me a question. I'm going to answer it. I don't know who or what is on the Epstein files.
So you just don't know that.
Okay, Hold on. Are you saying files or lists? What are we differentiating here?
Have you read it? Have you read it?
Give me your theory.
My theory is that my theory is that there are powerful and influential people who were in close contact with Epstein, including Donald Trump. I don't even need the list to prove that Donald
just
Trump
Donald Trump?
Excuse me. Excuse me. Come on, man. You know how conversations work. This isn't the first time.
Dude, you're being
Including
aggressive
Donald
off the
Trump.
bat. Why can't I be aggressive back?
Okay, it's because you're interrupting me. I have no problem. with
I
aggressive
really
people. I
don't
love
like
aggressive
moderating, but I'm going to have to moderate, and it's gonna make me in a bad mood. Please don't put me in a bad mood, right? So
Wick,
let
I'm already
him
mad
get
at you
his
for
point
moderating.
out. Let Irrelevant finish his point. He will ask you a question, then you'll have a chance to answer it. And I want to get Tristan in here. He's been trying to get in here for a little bit. So that's the
Fair
order
enough.
we're going to go in. We're going to let Irrelevant finish. We're going to go to Jake. Then we're going to get Tristan in here. And that's the order we're going to go in. And then, Rachel, if you have something to say, we'll add you to the list as we go. That's what we're going to do.
Well,
Go
I
ahead.
got something to say.
Don't
So
worry.
it is, to my opinion, that there's probably powerful people that were very close to Epstein that had some kind of knowledge as to his endeavors. Whether they participated in that, I'm not sure. The only thing that I care about is making sure that this information gets out into the public, because it is a public concern, very significant public concern. Even if there isn't anything crazy or damning in it, it is very important to build public trust in the government for that to be made public. Also, I want it noted, Trump ran on a campaign in which stuff like this should have been made public. He talked about things like this. His supporters talked about things like this. And then now he's just backing off of it. It looks bad because, frankly, there probably is something bad going on there. That's my opinion.
Now you can go, Jake.
Okay, great. So, so now we got his theory. He just says, well, Trump, I don't know if anybody else is on the Epstein list, but for sure I know Trump is, and that's undoubtable. This is his argument here, which, by the way, he can't prove at all. Obviously, this is just a theory. But again, going back to my theory, where the Democrats and the Republicans, this is, again, a nonpartisan thing, a very nonpartisan situation, where we have already been speculating that Epstein already has ties to Mossad. He has ties through Ghislaine Maxwell and her father, who is an agent of Israel, etc. So there was definitely, how did Epstein even make his money in the first place? You know, we still, till this day, don't know. We still don't know this. The Democrats did not release the Epstein files. They didn't even want to talk about it. They didn't make it a big deal. It was MAGA that did. There's a reason why. And by the way, Trump did not run off of a campaign of, I'm going to release the Epstein files. If you read Agenda 47, a lot of this came through talks through Pan Bondi and Kash Patel and Dan Bongino, which, again, I'm not even backing that up. Trump does need to release those files, because I would still consider that a promise either way. All right, I'm not trying to fucking be biased.
You don't remember the Fox News interview?
Yes, I do, bro. I totally get you there. This was all promises.
He said he was going to release it.
Yeah, they asked him, would you release it? He said, yeah, I'll think about it. For sure, that's something on my list.
He said, yeah, I will. But, we're going to be a little bit more careful, because some innocent people can be implicated.
Exactly.
Now he's not doing it at all.
Yeah, I know that.
He's making fun of people who want it.
But again, that's my problem with him. Yes, and we're on the same page, bro. So I don't know why you bring that up if I'm in agreement here.
No, we're not.
I'm in agreement there. Again, your theory is that he's on the list. Give me an argument. Give me an argument on why you think that. I
understand you might be hard of hearing. I never said he was on the list.
You said that was your theory.
No. I didn't. You're hard of hearing. Because you even made fun of me for saying, I don't know if he's on the list, because I'm actually honest.
And then when I pressed you on the question, you said,
I don't know who is on the list. That's what I said very definitively. Nobody does. You don't either. I don't know why you're breathing out of your mouth here. You have no idea who the hell is on the list.
I want to give Tristan a chance to get in here, and then Rachel as well. So Tristan, the floor is yours.
So both of you, when you guys were going back and forth, you were using, you could have been using lists and files interchangeably. And it's, I think, 100% that Trump is in the files, right? If you go through all the court cases. But we don't know the list. Yeah. So we just don't know the list.
Yeah.
So, Jake, you're asking us, why didn't the Democrats release it? My answer is going to be different from his. I think that it implicates some Democrats. But I want to ask you that same question. Why do you think Trump isn't releasing it?
Yeah, I already answered that. Again, it goes back to the powers that be, which is Israel. Israel has already established a lot of lobbyists on both the Republicans and the Democrats. They fund both. Even if you look at the percentage of their success rate when they fund a politician, it's a 97% success rate. Okay, and this is both on Democrats and Republicans. So this is nonpartisan when it comes to that.
This is nonpartisan. Do you think that? So I don't agree with your framing that Democrats were never interested in this. I believe they were, but that's fine. I'm gonna work under the
Do
assumption
you
that
think
they
they were
weren't.
as interested as like the
Well,
MAGA
let Tristan
movement?
get.
I
get
think
what he
that
wants. Yeah.
so it's difficult to compare. It's because it's like saying, do you think people cared about student loan forgiveness before Biden promised them student loan forgiveness?
Yeah,
Like,
they did care about that before.
but not as much, not to that degree. So
Bro,
it's
they
you
were
have
literally,
someone.
these college kids were protesting that shit and they wanted it. and
So, like-
Trump, Biden promised it and didn't deliver.
So I believe that there's like, all right. So there is a pushing and pulling of wants on things, right? And when you have, I'm not going to say Trump necessarily campaigned on it. It does feel like he was pushed towards it. Like if he gave a bad answer on this, it's going to hurt his chance of winning. And I believe Trump was saying whatever he could do to win, even if it implicated himself, right? And to me, whether it's Biden or Trump, it's disgusting. I hate it. Biden tried.
I agree.
But Biden being a long-term politician, he should have known better whether or not he can execute on the student loans. So for me, that's a problem for me. Even if you believe, all right, so I guess my question here is, do you feel like you guys were taken advantage of by Trump during his campaigning when it comes to this section of his promises?
That's a good
Like,
question.
Do you think
do you want me to answer? Rachel, do you want to go first?
I like both. Yeah.
Jake, go ahead, and then I'll follow up after.
Okay. Yeah. So as far as your question, do I feel like I was lied to or betrayed? Something along those lines, right? So that you're asking me. I would say no, not necessarily. I think Trump kept a lot of the promises of what I voted him. Like as far as the main issues of why I put him in there, immigration was the biggest one for me. Immigration was a huge one, and I believe he's doing a great job right now. Other promises that he's kept, for sure. Again, the Epstein shit was fucking on my list. However, you go back to Agenda 47, that wasn't a official campaign from Donald Trump saying that he will release it. This was all under the news in the videos. But I agree, he should do it.
Wait, before we go any further.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I don't want to cut you off. I don't want to get past that point. He also campaigned at 47. He didn't know what was going on there. So you can't attribute 47 to him. Either you have to say he was lying.
That was his official policies that he ran off.
Are you talking about 2025, Tristan?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, okay, so there's but just to be clear, because I don't think you actually answered his question, Jake. Tristan's asking specifically about the Epstein file promises. When it comes to the Epstein file promises which Trump made to not only Fox News but also in his interview with Lex Friedman, where he said, "Yes, I will release those files." Do you feel betrayed in that promise? Do you think that Trump lied to you in that specific incident?
Oh, okay. So when you say betrayed, I'm thinking as an overall thing.
Not overall, just on the
not overall.
File specifically.
With that, with that particular part right there, I would say, you know what, Trump, you lied to me. You should release that. If you said you're going to do that, you should do it. I totally get you there. Yes, he lied.
What about you, Rachel? Same answer. What do you think?
No, I don't think he lied at all. I think Trump had a wake-up call once he got in there. He had every intention of doing things, and then suddenly he's got one of his intel people whispering in his ear, some of his legal people saying, "Sir, you can't do that because the victim number 2 here redacted." Has an NDA signed also with the perp that was there. And of course, if you remember what little bit was released, it was like kind of perpetrator number 1, perpetrator. They were all given numbers. And I think Alan Dershowitz was on Fox the other day talking about how they disclose that and how they put that kind of information out. And he was emphasizing this point about victimhood in here. Further information coming out just about protecting those people. So back to the issue. Did Trump knowingly not lie? No, I don't think so. I think he was in his heart. He wanted to do it. He was sincere. And then people closer and more familiar with the facts pertaining to it all said, hold on, you got to cool your jets on this. And in fact, I think that's where where we first went awry. Pam Bondi's out there all going ahead. She says, well, the influencers with the portfolios, we all saw that. And then she's got them on her desk, and then the backtracking started happening. Somebody went in there and threw a wrench and said, stop this train right now. We're not going to go ahead with it. You're not allowed to go ahead with it. And it may have been now we're, I don't know what you guys have for a security clearance, but mine is very low. I mean, I don't have a security clearance. So all we can do is hypothesize and use conjecture and some logic about some of these events. We know the kind of people that Trump is up against, the 51 intel agents. Trump lays them out, Wick, as you played or you quoted from that post that Trump made on Truth Social. We know about Hunter Biden's laptop. They lied about that. We know Russiagate, Russia. Trump mentioned all of this. So the people that want to attack him, they impeached him twice. They had Mueller's special counsel convened. A lot of effort. We got the mug shot. We got the shooting in Butler. We got a whole bunch of stuff trying to stop this guy. And so now what's happened? We're missing some information. Is it possible that from the time that Trump was in office in 2020 and then the Mar-a-Lago raid, right now that started not by an FBI that's friendly to Trump's administration, it's a Biden admin go in there. What if they got some papers? What if Trump had his own Epstein papers and then the same people that made up all that other crap decide, hey, why don't we doctor these? I don't like the idea that Bill Clinton's name is in here. Let's put Trump in there. Can we get this? Julie, can we get it? Can we get a Trump name in here on this? Yes, no problem, right away. All the rest of it. We know all about the lovers, Peter Strzok, Lisa Page. So all these people were targeting Trump. It is possible the evidence could have been tampered with and it would make it inadmissible. And Ghislaine Maxwell, wanting to be the witness, suddenly she's going to be Julie truthful and appear before Congress going, all I know is the truth and I'm here to tell it as I really know it. It was Trump. You get me out of here. I mean, come on.
Let's let Tristan and Relly really wants to go here. I can tell. Tristan, then Relly.
So I believe you have a good heart, generally speaking, and you're doing something I've seen a lot of MAGA supporters do, where they will take how they feel and then implant it into Trump. Right? You're saying that Trump is trying to protect all of these people who don't want their identities out there. Right? Let's sit there for a second. He hasn't said that. Right? Pam Bondi has mentioned it, but Trump himself, if he were to say that, I could see him winning so much more praise from his own fan base and maybe some outside of his fan base. But he goes down this weird rabbit hole, right?
Tristan,
what was that?
I believe Trump did mention something about that there's people on those files that have nothing to do with those files and it could hurt their livelihood.
So I believe. No. I know what you guys are talking about. I don't believe he's talking about the victims. I think he's talking about the names that might appear. Yeah,
like the gardener or some shit like that. Yeah. Like people that Epstein associated with, etc.
Like himself, right? So we don't have proof that Trump did anything with the children, right? There's no proof of that, but he was associated with it. And I believe that's what he's talking about. Hey, here are people who have associated with Epstein that didn't do anything bad. And I agree. If a list were to come out and you get close to it and you didn't do anything, people could still view you negatively. And I think those are the people he's trying to protect. I don't think he's trying to protect the children who were taken advantage of. I really don't. He hasn't said it. Right. So
I agree. Yep.
That we know how the media is, right? The media, they don't really care too much about context here, and they'll run with it.
I don't care. Right. I don't care if it's at the point where there is too much gray area here. You need to release everything except the victims. Right. So I agree. Protect the victims, but you can release everything else. And we're in a populist movement. Let the people decide.
I agree.
Sure.
Okay, relevant.
I think we all agree on that to the extent that we can protect the victims. That's critical. And also to the extent that, innocent names, because Trump's argument is that the media is indiscriminate and they can't be trusted with it because a name will come out and then the guy's life is ruined because now such and such an individual has been named in this thing. And is really,
the public victims have died. Someone's murdering the public victims. I don't know her name, but I know someone who accused, I think it was one of the princes. She died in a car accident recently within the last month or something like that. Like, they need to be protected.
Did she?
But I don't think. If someone wants to do a quick Google search on that and let me know, but it's something I heard in passing today, so I'm not 100% sure.
Fair enough.
Okay. But if we are all in agreement with what was just said,
I don't think we are though. Honestly,
yeah.
But go ahead, Relevant.
Then I'm just curious. Then again, why are we not holding the Republican Congress people accountable for blocking the vote? Because the Democrats voted to have it released. That is the case. So
the one I heard on that
fact check, the woman, Virginia Geoffrey, did not die in a car crash. She died by suicide.
By suicide, right?
Oof.
Yeah, I think after.
Okay, so she died
from the car crash.
Right, hold on. I like what Tristan's doing. He's that's right. I want those quotes on there. Attaboy.
So let me ask you, what do you mean by accountable? What should we do to the Republican Party?
Probably primary them, get them all out if they're defending. Like, if we agree with the idea that these things need to be public as a matter of public safety, like because there might be, again, I don't know, nobody here knows. There might be a ring of powerful people who are preying on children. That's what the word may means. Powerful people preying on children. Then the public ought to know. And this is clearly controversial inside of the public, but there is Republicans who are actively blocking the general public's knowledge of. Come on, I'm almost done. The general public's knowledge of whether or not this is happening. There's no reason for that.
So here's the problem with that thing. You're basing everything off of theories. You don't have any of the facts. You're saying, well, it could possibly be that there's a PDF file ring. Possibly. So therefore, because it possibly could be happening, we should get rid of the entire Republican establishment. That makes no sense there.
Is that what I just said?
Yes.
Are you hard of hearing? No.
Are you hard of explaining? Hold on. Listen.
Because you just
irrelevant.
You sound dumb, bro. You literally sound stupid there.
Because you strawman my argument, so I'm going to.
I didn't strawman anything.
Yes,
you said this is all a theory.
Let me explain what you just strawman. Okay. So
what did I strawman, bro? Okay. What did I strawman, bro?
I said the reason why they should be primaried isn't because a crazy thing happened to the Republican. It's because they all voted in a specific vote.
And I didn't say that.
Voted to. Are you? I'm genuinely. Is it like a genetic?
What is going on? Seriously, cannot.
Like, do you need to take some medication?
Cannot still man the situation here. Let me explain again.
You can take a break, bro. Get some water. Do you need
water? How fucking triggered you right now. Chill out, bro.
That tends to happen when you keep interrupting somebody in the middle of speaking. That tends to happen.
Okay, go.
Anyway,
go, bro.
So the Republicans blocked that vote to make the files public. If everybody agreed with what was just said, that it is of public importance to make the files public, the Republicans in Congress disagree with you. And you need to reconcile that difference. So, it sounds like you don't want the Epstein files public. That's what it sounds like.
Nope.
Okay, so then what? So if you want the Epstein files public, what are you going to do to the people who are blocking them from being public? What are you going to do?
So really quick, the theory, when it comes down to it, that you say, well, because they blocked it, all right, and again, it may or may not be that there's a PDF file ring, all right, may or may not be, and you want them taken out because they blocked it, all right?
Because they blocked the general public from knowing.
Sure, yeah, okay, but the general public, okay, you have the MAGAs that fucking wanted this out, and you have a part of the Republicans that say let it go, and you have a part of the Democrats that say let it go. It's not everybody in agreement that this shit should come out, bro.
I'm curious.
Not everybody's.
Did you see the vote?
Hold on.
Wait, I'm actually. Did you see the vote?
I did see the vote. Yes, it was all Republicans that voted against it.
Yes, okay. So it is. It is a partisan thing. So you just made that up.
It is a partisan thing. So not everybody's in agreement that this shit should come out. Duh.
Yes, the point is that the people who are not in agreement should be held to task.
It's funny how he's interrupting me and everything. So are you going to shut up?
I was just saying, give me your solution.
You guys are crazy. Finish your point, Jake. Finish your point.
Yeah.
Jake,
so really quick, it's just asinine to say that because it may or may not be a PDF file ring, therefore we should punish the Republicans for voting against that. It's just asinine. It's fucking asinine.
I mean, I'm not interested in protecting.
Now this would be a better. Now this would be. Yeah, you're just no.
Holy moly.
This would be a better. This would be a better.
That's just what this is.
Can I finish, bro? Yeah, you're just doing shaming tactics, bro. Shut up.
Yeah, you should be shamed for this. This is a stupid tactics.
I never said anything about that.
That's why he asked if everybody agrees.
Bro, I'm literally just breaking down your logic. I'm breaking down your logic. Your logic is dumb. Okay, listen to your logic. Okay. So again, if we know for a fact, that there was a PDF file ring, and we all know, and the Epstein files came out, and then the Republicans continue to say that there's no justice to go past that we don't have to fucking go after the victims. And they're saying nothing to see here. The Republicans are saying nothing to see here, hypothetically. Then I would say vote them out, get them out of here, because we know that this whole conspiracy theory is actually true. Then I would agree with you on that. In this case, you're just speculating. These are just theories, bro. You can't go off of a theory to do that.
Okay, I want to read.
Yeah,
I want to
I-
take
I-
this moment. I want to take this moment to read some of the super chats. Continue to super chat me and continue to give me money. Once I make a little money, we're gonna. I have a question, right, to kind of maybe stop the circle, right? But we'll see. I don't know, and then we'll just get back into it. So here's first Doobie from $10. Thank you, Doobie. Says if he wanted to do it but can't because of an NDA, why is he saying it doesn't exist? Why not just say there's an NDA? Come back to reality. Trump is either a diddler, shielding diddlers, or a liar. Sandwich time for $2.50, €2.50, I guess. Rachel, do you like some sandwiches? From
I
Sandwich Time?
love sandwiches. Yeah, absolutely. That's sandwich time. He's one of the kids who watches.
Okay.
my
Well,
show.
thank you for the money. $10 from Doobie. Say, quote, I'd like to tell you about the powerful diddlers in our government, but I can't because non-diddlers might be inconvenienced, end quote. So he'd rather let these pedos get away with it than inconvenience people. $10 more from Doobie. Thank you, Doobie. To say at some point, Trump supporters just need to accept that they were the groomers and pedo supporters all along. It wasn't the transes going after kids, it was Trump. And then $2 Canadian from Testicle Johnson to say Trump is a diddler confirmed. Thank you for the money. Okay, that done. I just really don't understand, and please help me understand, Jake, right? So if I had a book, right, let's say this book, and I told you, hey, there's this book out there, and there's a list of names in this book of a powerful PDF file ring. And thank you, Tango Thoughts, for the 20 gifted memberships. Thank you. You don't know if I'm telling the truth, right? You don't know. I might be lying to you. It might be
It's a
just a
theory.
conspiracy. Yeah, it's a theory.
Yeah,
But one
it's
way we
conspiracy
could
theory.
test that theory is looking inside,
Releasing
and
it.
the list. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay,
Good. Yes,
so
I agree.
why-
Yes.
Why
Yeah.
would we not want to see the list released? And why, if
We do want to see it.
okay, but then why? Then why is Trump? Why wouldn't you criticize Trump for blocking the list?
I have criticized him. Bro, look, literally, I did an entire stream criticizing this guy just the other day. Again, Trump made promises through the news to release the Epstein files. He fucking lied about it. Bad Trump. Yes, I criticize him. Okay. But there's theories on there. Okay. I know Rachel fucking had a theory about other people, that there's more to it. That could be a theory as well. I get it, right? Maybe he didn't know the circumstances when he came into there, right? But you have to judge him based off of other politicians that have been in power before, that they didn't do the same thing neither. In fact, their demographic of people that voted for them, you guys, never pressured them in the first place to release those files. It was MAGA the whole time, partially of MAGA, that was pushing for that shit. And then the moment that he says nothing to see here, you have a portion of fucking Trump supporters saying nothing to see here either.
Yeah,
That's
and
the ridiculous
also-
part.
No,
It is
this
divided.
is a laughable idea. The idea that
What's the laughable idea?
left-leaning. Yeah, I'm explaining that, bro. Again, I don't know if this is a genetic.
I'm
issue,
explaining
God,
that, bro.
really
I'm just gonna,
maybe
yeah,
this is crazy.
I'm just not gonna talk. I'm just gonna fucking explain
Yeah,
it.
you just
go,
keep,
bro.
You just keep
Just go.
saying shit, bro. Just
go.
calm down, bro.
You interrupted me. Go.
Lower the levels.
Go, dude. Go,
Promise,
go, go.
Yeah.
Go, dude, go.
You're real triggered, bro. So
Dude, this guy's
the
not talking.
problem is, it's crazy. So the problem is this idea that the Democrats just didn't care. It's just not the case. And also the idea that MAGA cared is also not the case. There was no vote. There wasn't a call to vote for the Epstein files to be made public under Biden. There was under Trump this time, right? And
Because of who?
we have it on because of the Democrats. The
No,
Democrats
because
put
of
up
the
the vote.
no. Because
Yes,
MAGA
because the
was putting
Democrats
the
put it up
pressure-
to vote.
No,
No,
it was MAGA that
Democrats
put the
put up the
pressure on
vote.
Trump. Why do you think Trump said, "I will
No,
release
he
it"?
didn't.
It's because
Wait,
his own
I'm
base.
sorry. This
It
is
was
a
his
point
own
of
base
history.
that pressured
This is-
him
No.
to say
This
that.
is a point of history. This
Bro.
is an actual point of history. Who
Okay,
called for the amendment to be added?
For the amendment for what?
What do you think?
Like
Tell me, bro.
to
For the
release-
Epstein
release
List,
the
you
file.
come on, keep pace. Who called for it? Was it a Democrat or Republican? Use your
It
brain,
was
bro.
it was the MAGA base that put the pressure
No, it
on the
wasn't.
politician. Yes,
the
it was.
MAGA
Bro.
base was a Democrat. What are you talking
No,
about?
it wasn't a Democrat. I said
It was a Democrat
bro,
who called for the amendment.
Okay, the amendment. Oh, to release it? You're saying? I don't know
Yes,
anything about
to
that. Fine.
release. What do you mean?
Okay, great.
I'm not
I don't
talking
know.
to call his mother,
Right,
you
right.
retard.
Who
Yes,
cares?
to release
Even if it was
retard.
true, what does it fucking matter? It was the base.
What do you
that
mean?
people
What does
put
it matter?
on
The Democrats,
in
the
the first place,
Democrats
bro.
called for
It
an
was
amendment
no,
to
no, no.
release it. MAGA
Yes, but
did
it was
not.
the
MAGA
bro.
had
It was
all
MAGA
the
that
years
put the
under
pressure in the
Biden
first place
to actually
get into
call
the
for a
thing.
vote to make
Bro,
it released, and they didn't do it. Democrats did.
Okay,
You're
but
lost.
guess what?
You're
It was
literally
the
lost.
fucking MAGA base that put the pressure in the
That
first
did
place.
nothing. I agree.
No.
They did absolutely nothing.
Yeah, but we wouldn't be having this fucking conversation in the first place if it wasn't for MAGA putting the pressure in the first place,
Why
bro.
didn't MAGA call for a vote under Biden?
Dude, they did. They wanted
No, they
it to be
didn't.
released
No, they
under
didn't.
Biden.
They didn't.
Biden
They
didn't
call
care
for a
about
vote.
it. The Democrats
Show me
didn't care
when
about
MAGA
it.
called
In
for a
fact,
vote.
they used
Show
the
me when
same
MAGA
fuck-
called for a vote. Show me when
They
MAGA called
didn't.
for a vote.
I'm saying that.
Yes, they
dude,
didn't.
No,
They did
bro,
not.
Hold
Democrats
on.
did.
They wanted it released. They wanted it released, okay?
But they didn't call for a vote to make it released,
Neither
to
did the
legally
Democrats.
force it.
Bro,
Yes,
neither
they
did the
did.
Democrats.
They just
Not-
did.
Not under Biden.
Bro,
Okay,
Under
shut
okay,
up,
Joe
Biden.
okay,
Biden.
okay.
Name when the Democrats called for a vote under Joe Biden. Go ahead. When did they call for a
Not
vote?
under
to
Joe
release
Biden.
the
I'm talking
Epstein
about under
stuff?
Donald
They did it.
Trump.
Yeah, but
Your
I'm saying they
argument.
didn't give a
Your
shit.
argument.
Because they didn't give
No,
a
no.
shit. No.
Then
listen,
MAGA didn't
listen,
give a shit
'cause they
either.
didn't give
But
a
now
shit.
Democrats
You're
do.
Okay,
Joe Biden.
okay,
Bro,
okay. I'm throwing a flag on the play. I'm throwing a flag on the play.
That's
Both
my
of you
fucking
shut the
point,
fuck up.
idiot,
Okay,
is that
shut
they
up. Both of
care-
you shut the
they
fuck up,
care
or you will
under
be
Trump,
shut
but
the
they
fuck
don't
up.
give a
Okay,
shit under
you
Defending
Biden.
will be
those
shut the
child
fuck up.
predators, bro.
You will be
Keep
shut the fuck
defending
up.
them.
Both of you will shut the fuck up, and I will have some order in this court. I love the energy. I do. I enjoy it. But we have other people in this conversation that also want to talk and also want to get their thoughts heard and also want to get in on this. And I want to get their intuition, their thoughts, their questions. I'm going to give it to Rachel first, and we're going to give it to Tristan. And Rachel, I just have a very simple question for you, and it is a good question that Relly brings up, is if MAGA did want this done, why did they not take any legislative action during the Biden?
Because I think we just found out what the Trump's problem is that he's got a lot of opposition within his own party. We had to call J.D. Vance in the Senate to get a 50-50 thing just in order to control PBS and the other liberal outfit that NPR. So, and to get those, the big, beautiful bill, to get those Doge, those Doge recommendations through, right? Budgetary savings. And so the Senate fought him. Trump just managed to get, by the kind of skin of his teeth, through Congress, a Bitcoin bill just passed. He had 13, I think it was 13 GOP holdouts on that. He had to call them into the Oval Office, have a little roundout talk with them. And again, going back to the big, beautiful bill. So not everybody in Congress is on board with Trump. I think that's really important to recognize that even with the Republican Party, there's a lot of opposition to Trump within that. Now, there are advances being made. People are being primaried. People are being shuffled out. But I don't think there was a will to fire. I think, again, to reiterate, Trump wanted to go ahead with it. People counsel him. And to the guy that gave you the dono, his point about the protecting the NDA and all the rest of it, there's a list, and this is a point Tristan brought out. There's a difference between the Epstein List and then the affidavits that were signed by the victims in the trial that went forward. Alan Dershowitz says that there was, and I think he represented Epstein himself. He saw it. He says there is no list per se. Epstein did not create a list. According to Alan Dershowitz, to his knowledge, it didn't exist. What there were affidavits signed by the girl or the victims that said this happened on such and such a time. And within those affidavits are perpetrator 1, perpetrator 2, perpetrator 3. It's kind of phrased or coached in that kind of language. So I think that's important to recognize in terms of as we evaluate the evidence and why Congress has done certain things, why they haven't. Again, I think now that the evidence, I would argue Trump seems to be implying the evidence was tampered with. Not that the Epstein thing was a hoax, that there were crimes committed. He means it's a hoax that his name's in there, that they're using it to attack him. And that's clearly, quote, the fear he has it's going to muddy the water. And he says that's why he calls it a kind of, to paraphrase him, a perfect strike. Like, oh, they've got the gold standard with this one right now.
I want to hear responses to that from Tristan and Relly if he's got anything, and then we'll move on. Yeah.
So I agree with you that the evidence was tampered with. I just don't agree with you with the nature of the evidence. So I do believe that the Epstein list exists, and it exists in a way that's not straightforward. So there is the black book that does exist. Anyone can Google what I'm about to talk about. In that black book had the contact information for people that associated with him, right? The problem with that list or that contact book, the black book is what they call it, is the annotations that were made in that book were never released publicly. And I believe it's the book with the annotations that give you the actual Epstein list. One of the reasons why it wasn't released publicly, or one of the reasons they claim it wasn't released publicly, is because it was tampered with. So I agree with you that there was tampering done. I disagree with you with the nature of why you believe that tampering doesn't implicate Trump. I think Trump is using truths to like the best lie contains truths. And I think that he's using partial truths in order to enhance his lie to protect himself.
I think if there were any truth to the fact that Trump was out there, quote, as many of the people, I've got a lot of liberal people watching my program. I have hardly anybody watching my program, but that's a new channel and everything, but that's beside the point. But the fact that he was doing that, the Dems would have used it to torpedo him. It would have been the perfect bomb. It would have destroyed MAGA on contact. It would have been,
I believe,
perfect cure for MAGA. It would have
okay,
killed
so do you believe the Democrats are involved in the Epstein list? Any one of them? I think Bill Clinton was named a lot.
Yeah, well, initially the name Bill Clinton because he's on the flight logs. Like Trump's in the logs, but he's noted as being picked up in Florida and flying off to New Jersey,
Also with
New
his
York.
family too.
So
Sure. But my specific question is,
get him on the island, right? He's not on the island.
Right. My specific question is, do you think that there are Democrats that would be on the list?
Yeah, I would argue, sure, on both parties for sure.
Okay, so then why can't we use the same question you're asking us? If Trump could use it against the Democrats, why can't we just ask why wouldn't the Democrats use it against Trump? Why can't we just ask why won't Trump use it against the Democrats?
Well, I think Trump's an honest guy at the end of the day. That's why I like him. Yeah, I know.
Do you believe Trump?
I know. I believe that. I like the guy.
But do you believe Trump?
I think he's a sincere guy. Go ahead.
Do you believe Trump when he says that this was the list was a hoax created by Obama and Hillary Clinton?
Wait, are you part of the debate now?
I'm
just asking the question. Look, if you've heard of me,
you're
you know
asking
how I
us
do these
questions.
things.
You don't ask them questions.
I think Trump is. As I started with the opening. My open comment was Trump is idiosyncratic. There's nobody like him. And so they broke the mold with this guy. He's not the best communicator. He's a great communicator, but he's a very poor communicator at the same time. I think what I interpret when he says it's a hoax is that there was reality. The guy was a scumbag, as Trump called him a dirtbag or something. But by the same token, he's saying all this other stuff. Hillary got ahead of Obama, got in there, said, let's go implicate. And maybe they got it through, and Trump's intel gave it to him and said, here's what we believe has happened to the list and what's happened with the documents. It's been dirtied, and they want it propagated to destroy you. Just like they've tried to destroy you through the mugshot and through the impeachments, et cetera, et cetera.
That doesn't make sense because the Dems would have released it.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
So, no. Why didn't the Dems release it? If it was a hoax created specifically to make MAGA and Republicans look bad, why wouldn't the Dems release it?
Because it would have, ultimately it was a gamble. Because would it stand up under scrutiny if the world started looking at it. That's the whole idea. And that works against the Republicans as well. It's a double-edged sword, right? It's a gamble. Whoever plays with this thing, it's a time bomb. Because Trump could release it. His name will be there, hypothetically, potentially. And then he's got to navigate and somehow extricate himself. But he's going to give the Democrats a lot of field play to bounce his name around and dirty him up in the press for a little bit, right?
Wait, hold on. I'm curious. Do you think the Democrats rigged the 2020 election?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay, that's good.
Does
So the
that help
Democrats
you?
rigged. So the Democrats rigged the election. They
Yeah.
constantly put out smears,
Yeah.
but they didn't take the kill shot about Epstein
Well,
because
they
there was
did
a
at Butler.
Wait.
Hold on,
But
they did at
didn't
Butler,
take
but that's
they
a whole
didn't take
different
the
Let-
kill
let
shot
Relly
against
finish
Trump.
this.
They didn't take the kill shot against Trump with the Epstein files that totally would have ended him and possibly put him in federal prison. If it was a hoax, they could have put him in jail in irons because maybe the public might not have bought it. But they
Yeah.
rigged the whole election.
Well, they absolutely did. We know more evidence about that.
So they have the
coming out.
power to rig the election, the power to rig
Yeah.
not even one election, several elections. They have the power to
Illegals
constantly
get
blackmail all
illegals
of these
and get
Republicans,
approved.
but they don't. They just aren't confident in.
Well, keep in mind
connecting
there was
Trump
some
to
high
Epstein.
profile.
They
Yeah, but keep in
aren't
mind.
confident in connecting Trump to Epstein.
Yeah, but keep in mind there was some high profile Democrats that may not have wanted to play with that bowl of dice either. Bill Clinton may be one of them. Hillary
Well,
Clinton.
that
has
is a
said
far more
they had a lot of
understandable
power.
argument.
They had a lot of power in the DNC. The
Well, that
DNC
is a
was
far-
so
well, they-
bankrupt. That's why Bernie bro got his ass cooked because Hillary came in and saved the DNC because they were bankrupt, like they are again. And so she
Okay,
went in
so-
and said, "Okay,
so
I'll give you the money, but you got to give me the nomination."
That-
So bye
that
bye, Bernie.
idea that Democrats could be burned is far more understandable, and I think is far more palatable given the material facts that we have. The material facts that we have is that the Dems had not full control, but had the presidency, and they didn't release it. Or didn't make a call, a vote to release
And
it,
what did find
stuff like
covering?
that. And now that, sorry, one quick second here. That to me pretty heavily implies that there is some kind of damage that they're trying to avoid. Because if any Republicans are indicted in that and no Democrats, there's no reason. It's objectively not a reality that can exist. They would have put it out there. It's just not possible.
Okay,
So-
beautiful comment. So here's
Uh,
what I love about what you're saying, Irrelevant, is that if they didn't put it out because they've got the kill shot on Trump. Well, now that seems to be saying that you don't believe there is a kill shot on Trump in there. That's why they
I don't know if there's a kill shot. I am agnostic to the existence of any of the palatability of any of the Epstein list. I want to know, just like the American public, and I will make no excuses for anybody who tries to hide it from the American public. That's all. I'll make this extension. Any Democrat who abstains from that vote for making it public, bro, the FBI should seize your computer. It is incredibly. I do not trust any human being that doesn't come at all of these people who are not voting to make this public or who are voting to not make this public. You should come at them with every single tool that we have in the political system. Every single tool we have. You should never be able to work in politics ever again.
I'm seeing echoes of the Trump. Remember the tax? We want to see Trump's tax receipts. There was a big push on that. And finally, those were leaked and they came out, and it turned out to be a big nothing burger. But there was so much heat on
It's
that.
a little different. Child predator ring
No,
that
no,
might
no.
span
No,
like
no,
all
no.
the most powerful
No.
people across the world. It's a
I
little
know.
bit different than
Yeah,
that.
but
I
the
think
point
I
is
think that's a
about
good. I think that's a good
propaganda.
example.
He's just talking about
That's not
propaganda.
No.
That's what Rachel's
I
talking
think that's a
about.
good example, right?
Yeah.
People accuse them of being shady with his taxes, and the solution to fixing it was to release the taxes, right? So even
Yeah.
if you want to use that as a good example, that's exactly what he should do now.
You know
Yeah.
what? The
That-
laws were changed. Tristan, what was beautiful about that is the laws were changed. Right now, there's a massive, I don't know what they're calling it, like a super RICO case. Obama's implicated, Brennan's implicated, Kash Patel has said, and there's no limitation. There's no, statute of limitations involved in any of this stuff. It's an ongoing conspiracy. It's a huge net. And I know John Solomon has been reporting on this. So maybe this is going to be wrapped up in all of that. Maybe this Epstein thing is going to come rolling out with this big, massive net because they are going over the 2020 election. That's going to be interesting.
But they already went over the 2020 election.
Pardon me?
They already went over the 2020 election. Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
I believe that you are being misled. They are trying to distract you with something that doesn't exist. Are you aware that Trump's lawyer, what was his name, out of New York, Giuliani?
Yeah, Rudy Giuliani.
He admitted that he lied when he said that the lady was ballot stuffing. Are you aware of that? Like, he said that in court?
Yeah, I'm not aware of that. I'm going to tell you something, that we had film, photographs. We've seen images of people. I've seen the film where they're going out and they're dropping in the money. And that individual was, in fact, arrested. So I'm not sure what he was talking about. But let me tell you this. Show me the man, I'll show you the crime. The corrupt courts, and we've seen the lawfare that's going on with Trump. We're seeing these district judges had to go all the way to Supreme Court to clear that out. I mean, credit to you kids over on the left. I mean, you're doing a hell of a job throwing rocks in Trump's path as he's trying to negotiate the second term. Fortunately for our side of the aisle, he's winning. We're seeing apparently June saw zero immigrants coming into the country, zero illegals. Okay, not necessarily immigration, but zero immigrants coming in or illegals coming in. I mean, that's incredible. That's exactly why so many people voted for him. It was getting out of control. That was a big platform. Promises made, promises kept. Go ahead.
Can I ask you a question? Yeah. So just kind of the same question I asked earlier. Do you believe that the Epstein files should be made public? The client list, everything the government has should be made public.
Ultimately, I think they should be. But I do trust Trump's administration to do it. There has to be a level of trust, or why vote for the guy at all? Let's blackpill everybody.
I agree. Why vote for the guy?
But Rachel, did you Trump?
Why vote for any Democrat? Why vote for anybody? Right? That's blackpill. What I'm saying, I come in with a trust. I wasn't even concerned about Trump. Trump was off my radar. But back in 2016, when he started becoming a serious candidate and a likely candidate for the presidency, I saw the world turn against him. I go, what the hell is going on with this guy? I had no interest in him at all. And it made me go from looking here to looking here. This is a story I've told many times. Okay, go ahead.
Can I just ask the follow-up question to that? If you agree that it should be made public, what do you think should be done about the Republicans who blocked it being public?
Well, I'd want to know the rationale for blocking it rather than knee-jerk and let's go.
So you don't want to do it off theories. Yeah, I get you there.
So what do you think is a good? Do you think there is a good reason to block it becoming public?
Yeah, apparently what it was blocked is the Democrats were running another bill. They had buried that in the language of this whole Epstein. I could probably get that on X platform.
No, you're pretty accurate there.
Okay. Oh, so somebody's got to back up on that with me.
So here's what I will say. They're claiming that it's a procedural issue, right? And I'll give them that. We can cast that aside. Thomas Massie and another Democrat, forgot his name. They've released a clean bill for the Epstein files released within 30 days. So they haven't voted on it yet, to the best of my knowledge. And
that's going to be the second vote. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, we already had Mike Johnson. We had Mike Johnson even say that we should release the files. Now, as far as this next bill, I think that's going to be the kicker of if we can at least get something done here.
Yeah. And even if it doesn't pass, I like this bill because it draws a clear line in the sand of who is for it and who is against it. And I didn't want to go back to it myself, but you brought it back up. I don't think it's stupid for people to come to their own conclusions to why Republicans should be primaried. We vote them into office for whatever reason we voted them into office. And if without hard facts, if you want someone who isn't doing what you want them to do gone, that's okay. It ranges on the broad of you can think it's stupid, but I think it's okay. Like, even if I disagree with their reasons for it.
Yeah, I agree with you, Trish. You're very logical, very understandable. I can totally relate to your position on this stuff. It's excellent.
Okay.
Thanks. I think you're a great person, by the way.
Oh, well, Anna, look at this love fest here. $20 from Raging Tomato to say.
Oh, we love her.
Yeah, to say, just waiting for Rachel to turn up the heat. And then $5 from Josh to say, and I quote, Ha 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 ha. Oh, thank you for the $5.
John!
Wow.
Yeah, shout out to Sarah from the Raging Tomato, by the way. She's the one that actually hooked me up with Wick, so shout out to her.
Oh, well, don't thank her yet. We'll see how the show goes, right? I do want to kind of like figure out here. I understand that at least in concept, everyone here is fine with the release of some fine files. Is that an accurate statement?
It is for me, yeah.
Okay.
At some point, and as long as it passes all the legal hurdles that it needs to, then I'm all, let's do it.
No one wants to release victim names or anything like that. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Trump is actively seeking to stop that from happening. I just don't, like, this is what I wanted to talk about today, right? Why do you think it's okay that Trump is actively trying to stop this from happening? Right, and I guess to Irrelevant and to Tristan, what else do you think should be done? Right, you mentioned Ro Khanna's amendment that he attached as a writer to one of these other bills that was going through. Assuming the Thomas Massey stuff goes through, assuming it passes, but assuming nothing gets in, it gets blocked. Should the Democrats seek to impeach Trump for this if he continues to block this legislation, if he continues to stop the release of the Epstein files?
I mean, either way, it's not going to work. I mean, the whole point of the impeachment would to be like symbolic to like show that or put on record that Republicans don't care enough about the release of the Epstein files to hold the president accountable. That would be the whole idea, which, I mean, I guess they could do that. Ultimately speaking, there isn't really too much that can be done. I think from a Democrat perspective, the only hope would be to just make sure everybody knows that the Republicans are blocking a possible
The original bill.
child pedophile ring, or maybe something that isn't there. But either way, the American public should know.
I don't think this is impeachable. I don't know the legal scope of impeachments, but like if you're going to use impeachment, it needs to be like something that's illegal, right? Him hiding the Epstein list isn't illegal. Now, if it comes out and there is a list, yeah. So if it comes out and he's actually on the list, yes, I would like to see him impeached. But I don't.
Any other politician there, yeah, for sure.
All of them.
I think that first of all, I don't think impeachment is a legal proceeding. It is a political proceeding. So I think you can kind of be impeached for pretty much whatever. I don't think there's any legal requirement.
Well, remember Bill Clinton got his D sucked in the Oval Office, and they wanted to impeach him for that, right?
I think
he lied under oath about that.
I think it was the cigar that was his undoing, quite frankly.
But regardless of that, right? To Rachel's side and to Jake's side, right? Like again, what I just can't wrap my head around is Trump is continuing to block this, and he's I would say he's lying about it. I would use the word lying.
Wick. When you're saying that you can't get your head around why he's lying, is that your question?
Why is he lying about this? Unless he's either on the list or protecting someone who he cares about that is on the list.
So you're adding in a lot of caveats there. Now, again, we're speculating theories. Well, that's big, because when you say care about, is that friends? Is that politicians? Is it family, direct families? Is he being threatened? So there's a lot of theories there.
Who do you think? Hold on. Who do you think's threatening the president of the United States?
No, I'm saying it's a theory. Now, okay. Israel's a big one too. Again, that goes back to my point here, Wick. When you're saying that you can't wrap your head on why he's kind of shilling this whole topic here, I explained it very well, bro. Epstein, again, there's no proof on that, but we do know that Epstein was involved with a foreign government, okay? He was involved with some type of intelligence agency from the East. Now, the odds are he wasn't involved with Iran. He wasn't involved with Iraq. The odds are that he was involved with Israel. And Israel already has a history of spying on the United States on multiple occasions. So if that is the case, and that Israel already has their foot in with many Democrats and Republicans in the United States that influence foreign policies when it comes to Israel, and not only that, Trump already has history in his own family where I believe it's his daughter's married to a yes. So he has history there. Remember, in his first term, he kissed the wall over there in Israel and stuff like that. So he does have a soft spot there. Is it possible that this guy's covering up for the sheer fact that he's protecting the state of Israel? Let me ask you guys this question. This is legitimate here. We can go through the panel here. Let's start with the gentleman here on my left. If that is, do you think this is a possibility from Trump?
That Trump is in the pocket of Israel?
Along with every other politician, the Democrats. This is why they protect him.
And I think that there's certain politicians who are critical of Israel. I wouldn't say every single politician is. If you're being hyperbolic, not even that.
I'm not being hyperbolic.
I mean, there's a lot of, okay, no, then no.
Okay.
Every single, there are politicians who are quite anti-Israel.
What do you mean by anti-Israel?
Like they're not any kind of pro-Israel sentiment that you would be referring to in a propaganda sense or whatever. They are don't seem to be buying into it.
Can you name one?
Ilhan Omar is.
Okay, you can't name one.
I just did, you fucking spurg. What the fuck? I just said Ilhan Omar. I literally said the same thing.
Okay, all right, bro. Chill out. Don't get angry.
No, you wait. No.
Bro, hold on, dude.
You quipped at me. Don't act like you're fucking innocent. I didn't hear that.
Ilhan Omar,
quipped at me.
Hold on, bro.
When you just didn't even have your fucking headset
chill out.
on.
Now check this out. Let's take Ilhan Omar for an example. Hold on, bro. Let's stop. Calm down, Spurg. Chill. So let's take Ilhan Omar for an example.
So
let's just, bro. Let's take Ilhan Omar as an example here, okay? Remember when she said about the Jews it's all about the money? You remember that shit?
I don't know.
Yes. So she was talking about the lobbyists over there in the Jewish lobbyists. They were saying that they influence a lot of politicians and that they're all about the Benjamins. She made that comment, okay? It was on X. It was a big fucking deal. So after that, there was multiple politicians on Democrats and Republicans, including Donald Trump, Nancy Pelosi, etc., that all called for her to resign for that comment, bro. For that comment. Okay? So, again, that's how powerful the state of Israel is that you have...
but she's not in their pocket. You literally provided me an instance of proof.
No, I didn't say all of them. Pocket. I said there was many.
You said... No. To be clear, you said every single last one of them because I asked for a point of clarification. No, I didn't say every single last one of them.
Yes,
I
said that they...
Wait,
bro,
can I get an opinion of the other people here? I literally asked... I said, wait. No. Did I not say, are you being hyperbolic? Did I not say, are you being hyperbolic?
I said, I'm not being hyperbolic. When I say that they lobby politicians... I didn't say all of them. I said they lobby politicians. I didn't say all. I said they lobby politicians, bro.
And when I asked, are you being hyperbolic when you say?
Okay, hold on. We just have a hold on. We have a miscommunication, obviously. We have a miscommunication, obviously. We can move past this. I don't think this is.
But no. It is very important because him bringing up Ilhan Omar is a good example here, where she went against that grain and got totally fucking bashed on the Democrats and the Republican side. Because it's a bipartisan issue when it comes to Israel. So again, going back to my question, if it's the case that Jeffrey Epstein was in cahoots with the Israeli state and that the Israeli state was doing PDF file rings here in the United States, breaking laws here, running the biggest fucking PDF ring in the world, okay? Don't you think that's a big deal? Don't you think this is kind of legitimate to where Democrats and Republicans would agree that, you know what, this is why we didn't release it under Biden. Now that Trump's in office, he made the promise because of his MAGA base, because the people pressured him there and he said these things. Now he has to do it. Now he's backtracking. Okay? I'm saying, don't you think this would be more of a logical conclusion other than, he's just on the file?
I don't think it's more logical to just say that there's a massive pedophile ring that's orchestrated by Israel. No, I don't think. Listen to what I'm saying. I don't think it's more logical to say that there's a massive pedophile ring orchestrated by Israel in the shadows and everybody's controlled by it. No, I think it is more logical to say that the most basal thing that we can kind of deduce is that there seems to be a lack of will, at least under the Biden administration, for the Democrats to have this be made public. And there's a lack of will for Republicans under the Trump administration to have this be made public. That's what I think that we could. And now from there, we can extrapolate why. But after that, it's just theories.
Yeah,
I don't think just jumping to Israel is doing all of it and is orchestrating the biggest pedophile ring in history is no.
$10 from Doobie.
Got you there.
Just real quick, $10 from Doobie to say, and this is pertinent to the line of conversation, so I'm going to give it back to you, Jake, as soon as I say this. It says, if you think Trump, the president of the most powerful nation on earth, is such a spineless coward, he's protecting child molesters because it might make Israel look bad, why do you still support him? That's a question to you.
Yeah, again, so this would be a theory. Again, if you want to make the conclusion or the thing that he's protecting child molesters, this would be the same thing that you would do with every other politician that gets lobbied by Israel. Okay.
And again, but the question remains: why would you still support Trump?
Why would I still support
if he's
him?
Doing that? If he's just like every other politician, why?
So if it's every other politician, the one big reason that I would still support him, even though he's lobbying for Israel, and if it's the case that he's lobbying and protecting Israel from this PDF file ring, then I would say fucking he should be in jail just like any other fucking politician, 100%. At this point, I'm supporting him because who else am I going to support? The Democrats that actually have the same standards as Trump, protecting Israel from these pedophile rings. Okay, at this point, I have to go with the least amount of evil, right?
It would
the least
be
amount
okay
of evil,
to
which
support
is
no
Trump.
one, I guess. Like if I thought that every single politician was this secret pedophile,
Rick,
I would support none of them.
Yeah, but Wick, you have to.
Security has rescued 10,000 kids. They've located 10,000 kids out of some report of 300,000. The numbers are astronomical. So Trump is doing a lot of good. They've been busting up, his DOJ has been busting up a lot of pedophile rings. So Trump's track record in that regard is actually quite good, excellent, in fact. This whole idea again about Mossad and that, again, that's mentioned in some of the documents that have come up, people talking about. And again, it's a kind of a rationale. It's a theory. Well, maybe, how do we explain it? What was Epstein Island? Was it a honeypot by the CIA in conjunction with the Mossad in order to capture and use blackmail against various celebrities, various politicians, for political advantage, to get a message out, a particular, propaganda to prop up an
and Wick, just to kind of clarify a little bit more, I can't base my entire support on something that I don't have 100% exact on, right? I don't know 100% if that's the case. This is the best theory I would have on what's going on with the Epstein files.
And you think that's just a better theory than the fact that Trump simply is lying to cover his own ass?
Well, what do you mean by covering his own ass?
Because he's on the list.
Yeah, well, again, I think it is a better theory because I don't think he's on the list when it comes down to it. He could be. Again, we have the flight logs, and we know that he entered the airplane with Jeffrey Epstein, but with his family. There wasn't anything really.
You never had him going to the island. He was that plane never went to the island with Trump.
But my point is, Wick, is that I can't base my entire fucking thing off of a feeling. We have to base it off the facts here. We're all theorizing here at this point.
Yeah, and he's blocking the facts from becoming public.
Yeah, I know that. But again, you don't even know why he's doing it. Why do you think he's doing it? Because you say he's on the list.
I never said he's on the list. Again, you're so hard of hearing.
No, because you're agnostic about it. You're saying you're arguing
like a rational, reasonable human being,
like
any single human being should be.
Why do you think he's blocking it? Why do you think he's blocking it?
Because he either is trying to protect himself or somebody he cares about that might
be
implicated on the list.
Prove that. How do you know? Why do you think?
I didn't say I could prove it. You asked why I
why
think
do you think it is? Okay, why do you think that is?
Because there is no other good reason to block it.
But tell me why. Tell me why. Why do you think that?
What do you mean why?
Tell me. Okay, if you said there's no other reason other than him protecting himself,
there's no other good reason. There is no other.
Tell me why do you think that?
Because I would need to go through the reasons. Like what?
Yes, the reason why you came to that conclusion. Why did you come to that conclusion?
You're asking me. The reason why is because for him to block a hit piece on effectively some of the most powerful pedophiles inside of America, there is no good reason to do that. Unless he's implicated or somebody he cares about. Why would you block
but why would you come to that conclusion? Answer the question. Why would you come to that conclusion specifically?
Because
what line of reason did you say that?
Because Trump should want a win to be able to expose a large criminal corrupt network of pedophiles that are operating inside of the United States. He should want that political win if he's not implicated. There is no reason for him to not want that political win.
Okay, go ahead, Rich.
What do you mean? Wait. What do you mean? Okay, you had me explain like the most basic thing in the
No,
world.
you didn't. You didn't even go into conclusion.
Why,
Okay, so
why
let me
wouldn't
give you-
Trump want the biggest political win he could possibly? Why would Trump
But
not
bro,
want to
bro,
protect
bro, 'cause
pedophiles? You
asking the
literally
question.
asked me,
No,
why
no,
wouldn't
listen,
Trump
listen.
want to protect pedophiles? Like, what is this? Like, dude, like, what
$10.
conversation are we having?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll wait,
$10
I'll wait,
from
I'll
Doobie.
wait.
$10 from Doobie to say, to be
Okay.
clear, and this is to you, Jake, you have a pedo flag on your wall because he's the least bad at the pedos.
Whatever. So again, going back to this claim here, when I asked him, how did you get to that fucking conclusion that he's protecting himself or somebody he loves? Explain it to how you got to that conclusion. Well, there's just no other reason if he's protecting pedophiles, therefore it must be this. And there's no other reason outside of that. That is not an answer, you fucking idiot. Explain
Yes, it is.
why
That
you
is
came to that
literally an
conclusion.
answer.
Explain why. What gives you that fucking what gives you that
Why
conclusion?
wouldn't Trump? So you
No,
are asking me
answer
to
the
explain.
question.
You
Don't
are asking me
don't
to
answer the
explain.
question with a question.
You're asking me to explain.
Yes, give me details.
Why
What
Trump? Wait, you're asking
Who
me
is he
to explain.
protecting?
Excuse
Who is he
me.
protecting?
You're asking. Excuse me.
Let
you're
him answer your
asking
question, then we're gonna go to
why
Rachel.
Trump wouldn't want to expose a large
No, I'm not asking
criminal.
you that.
That's crazy. You are really going.
No,
off on
I'm
this.
saying
You're
what gave you
asking-
that
that's crazy.
conclusion? That's
Don't
all
let
true.
me-
What
don't
gives
let me
you your
interrupt your question
conclusion
with my
for that?
answer. That's crazy.
Because you're not answering the question.
Wouldn't Trump want to expose a large child predator ring? Why
That wasn't
wouldn't
my
Trump want to do
question.
that?
That wasn't my question.
That is what you
So
said.
let me ask the question again.
Why
again. And
wouldn't
pay attention.
Trump want
Pay
to
Okay, well,
attention.
hold on.
expose
Let
Epstein
him.
if he
Maybe,
was
maybe.
dating?
Hold on.
Pay
Okay.
attention this time.
Okay. Flag on the play. Jake, ask your question again. Be
So
clear.
again-
Be specific.
So
And
this
then
is-
Irrelevant
this is
can
very-
answer it.
So this is very easy, okay? Let's just say the pedophile ring, that's all true. Let's just say it's all fucking true, okay? Your conclusion is the only way he's covering that up is to protect himself or people that he loves, okay? So for example, when I came to my conclusion about Israel, I gave you plenty of examples about Epstein being connected with Mossad. I went into details on why I came to that conclusion. I want you to give me details of why you came to the conclusion that Trump is hiding this because he's protecting himself or loved ones. Tell me how you
That's
got
not
to that
what
conclusion.
I said. That's not what you asked me. You
That's my
asked me,
question,
why is
fucker.
it- Hey,
That's
guess
my
what?
question.
Stop talking.
Answer now. So answer the
zip it.
question now.
Stop talking. Stop talking.
Oh my God. See
What
how
you
he's
asked
obfuscating?
me.
He's filibustering,
No,
bro.
I'm
Hold
not. I'm
on.
telling you,
Stop.
talking.
Both of you
Wait,
stop.
wait,
Both of you
wait,
stop. Hold on. I'll have to
wait,
do
wait,
this.
take your
I'll have to
ADHD
translate.
medication.
I'll have to
Wait, really
translate.
quick.
I will
Wait,
mute
wait,
you both
wait,
again.
bro.
Did you see
No,
how?
stop.
Do you see how it's
Stop.
very clear
Stop.
about the
Jake,
question
stop.
and he's still fucking
I'm going to make him
filibustering?
answer your question.
Bro,
I
smoke
promise.
some more
Make
weed,
him
man.
answer
But
the
you gotta,
question
but you
because
gotta
he
let
can't
me
answer
go.
it.
You gotta let me moderate my goddamn panel, okay? Thank you. Okay, so Irrelevant will, in whatever you're going to say next, please answer his new question. If you don't think he asked you that before, that's fine, but answer his new question too. Go ahead, Irrelevant.
Okay, so why do I think Donald Trump is protecting somebody he cares about or potentially
Now-
himself by doing? It's crazy. You're gonna keep talking. That's like insane. Maybe you need to smoke some more or something. Get your mind off of it. Do something.
Wick, can you just
Okay,
have him
so
answer the
just
question?
shut the fuck up.
He's
Yeah,
trying.
that's
Okay,
fine.
he's
No,
trying to
that's
answer the question. I promise you.
Just shut
Let
the
Irrelevant
actual
answer
fuck
the
up.
He's
question.
filibustering
God,
again,
you're
bro.
so retarded. No, I'm not. I'm literally I'm answering your question.
He's still doing
Okay,
it.
so it's crazy. So why would Trump want to do that? Why would Trump? This be my reasoning for why I think it is. Because there is no other good reason for Trump to not want the win of exposing Epstein and the pedophile ring. Because that would be a huge win for Trump. It would be a massive win. If Trump exposed the pedophile ring, he could potentially win a third term off of that. That's like a win that he could ride the constitutionally questionable third term off of. But he's just choosing not to. But I also like this because this was something else I was. I like how that is so ridiculous, but Mossad controlling everything is the parody. That's supposed to be the more probable conclusion that Mossad is controlling everything. But when I say, hey, maybe I think that either Donald Trump is protecting somebody or potentially implicated in some of the Epstein details, you're like, no, it's such a crazy, ridiculous thing. Explain all these different things. But apparently Mossad is entirely rational and entirely reasonable. Bro, you're fucking cooked. Smoke some more weed.
Okay, so let me respond to that really quick. Again, didn't answer the question at all. I asked, give me specific details. Him saying, "Well, what other? There's no other reason at all. There's no other reason." I literally
No other
gave
good
you
reason.
an
Good
entire,
reason.
yeah, based off your opinion here. Again,
Yes,
let me
you were asking my opinion.
Can I talk here? Again, this is
Yeah, go
wild
ahead.
how he interrupts me. So anyways,
Yeah, that's how it goes.
so going back to my point here, just shut up. Going back to my point here
Go ahead.
is that when I answered the question on my theory of this, I gave you evidence and I gave you theories and I gave you my perspective of why I came to that conclusion. You're just saying, well, there's just no other reason, Jake. There's just no other reason that possibly could be done. He's protecting himself,
that's what
or
I
he's
just
hold
said.
on,
There's
listen.
no other
He's protecting
reason.
himself or
I'm not
others.
gonna let you
Then
strawman
I
me.
asked,
When you
please
say things
go
that
into
I didn't
details
say,
on
no.
why he's protecting. How did
I
he get on the
didn't- I
list?
said there's no
What
other
happened
good
there?
reason.
Who? Again, I'm asking you for details. And you're just saying, well, because
Yes,
he has
and
no
I
other reason.
gave details.
That's not,
It
and
is
again,
no.
he
Okay.
can't
It is
answer
the
the question.
Okay.
largest.
Can
one of
I
the
answer the
largest
question?
political
Okay.
wins that
Let,
could be-
maybe.
Yeah, let's go to
We need a
somebody else
combo
that can
breaker. We
probably
need a
answer
combo
that.
breaker.
I want to
So
answer this question.
Tristan,
I want to answer
and
this
then
question.
Rachel. Go
And
ahead.
I want you to walk with me, right? So, do you believe Trump knew or had information about the Epstein case before he was elected? Again?
I don't think he did. I don't think he did.
Okay. So, I believe that until this conversation happened and then I had an epiphany. When he interviewed with Fox before coming back into office, he said that he would release the list, but he's concerned for the phony accusations that would mess up people's lives. So that
Sure.
implies that he had information about phony information
Look
before
at
he
that.
got back
You
in
answered
office.
the question way better. Good.
So-
You're answering the question. Thank
And then
you.
we have to
Tristan.
also
Thank you.
we have to also acknowledge
You're
that
smart, bro. You're smart.
the DOJ leader at the time was appointed by
Mhm.
Trump. So it's very possible that he was briefed on this, even though it was declassified. So that for me, that was a
Wow.
light switch for me.
Nice, bro. Thank you so much for answering my question, man. Unlike this fucking moron here.
Oh yeah, but,
Thank
hey,
you.
but
Thank
go
you,
back
bro.
to go back to
Because he actually
defending him,
explained
bro.
himself.
Go back
Wow.
to defending. Go back to defending
No,
Trump,
he
bro. I want to
actually
hear how
asked-
you
no.
constantly
Bro,
defend
bro,
child
look,
predators,
listen,
bro. Go
listen.
ahead. Keep
It's not
keep
even
it
defending
rolling,
it, bro. I
Yeah,
asked
I
a
know.
very
Okay, talk
bro,
about how I'm
wait,
a Mossad agent. I want to hear it, bro. I want to hear how I'm.
But I will say this. I will say this. Hit.
I got
What's your
cooked
name?
right now.
Orange shirt.
Yeah,
What's your name?
Yeah, bro.
It's
Your name doesn't
irrelevant.
pop up on
Moron,
Discord for me.
yeah.
Me?
Yeah. What's
Irrelevant.
irrelevant? So
Irrelevant.
He is
I think
irrelevant.
irrelevant saying that Trump is protecting someone. You can't attack that because you saying that Trump is not releasing it because of Mossad is him protecting someone, and that someone is Israel. So your reason falls underneath his reason. So I don't think it's fair for
Yeah.
you to like attack his reasoning.
I like that. He actually went into detail there. I really appreciate that, Tristan. And I got my question answered by you. Unfortunately, not this idiot. But yeah, we'll move on.
Okay, wait. Can you explain then why you didn't put that together yourself? Like, can you
No,
explain that?
here's the thing. When I asked if he's protecting somebody or loved ones or himself, give me some type of
Yep.
reasoning because I can
I gave
conclude
you a
that that
reason.
could be. No, you didn't. You just said because there's no
Yes,
other
it was
reason.
a
That's stupid.
massive political win.
Oh
if he
God,
was
can
not.
you just shut up and let me answer, bro?
No,
and how
I
your
don't.
answer
I
is just.
I have no
Oh,
respect.
you're just
for
being
you at all.
emotional. You're just being emotional. Shut up. dude.
I'm
I
being
do-
emotional.
Hold on.
Bro,
I
you've been
do. Hold
interrupting
on.
me
Hold
this
on. I do want to
entire
get
time.
Rachel
difference
in.
between how
Rachel's
you're
been very
answering it
good
and this
today.
gentleman down
Yeah,
here.
you're right.
answered
There
it.
is a difference.
Because
I have
you're
no
a
respect
fucking
for you
idiot.
because you
Because
provided no respect.
Who
back
cares?
to
I don't
me.
care. I don't care if
Dude,
you have no
I'm the
respect for me.
fucking idiot,
You
bro.
can't
You're
answer
over here talking
questions.
about
You're a
Mossad
fucking
running
idiot that can't
everything,
answer
bro.
questions.
And you are constantly making excuses for Republicans not
I
wanting
do
to
want
release
to. I
it.
do want to give the
Yes,
mic to
I'm the
Rachel.
one who
Whatever.
looks like an idiot.
See a bunch of fucking.
I do want to give the.
obfuscation,
Hold
bro.
on. I do want to give the right.
Yeah,
mic. I do
You're a
want to give
clown.
the.
Mossad isn't.
I do want to give the mic to Rachel, who has been very quiet, very calm, and probably has some things to say. And then we'll get back to this beef and whatever. it
Yeah,
is,
I
but
just
go ahead.
wanted to. I just want to add. Trump wrote the book "Art of the Deal," right, based on Sun Tzu's "Art of War," and a lot of dialogue. I know Jake will be familiar with this. A lot of mega talk about it. That a lot of his dealings, like with the terrorists, for example, his dealings in business use the philosophy that was espoused in "Art of War." And basically, Art of the Deal is a riff on that he took those principles. One of the guiding principles is to appear weak when you're strong. And so it's possible, and again, the same kind of technique was used, I would argue, with the tax situation, where Trump knew about that. He knew his taxes were clean, but he goes, I don't want those released. Don't release my taxes. I don't want them. And everybody's going, aha, he's got something to hide. And it built and built and built and became a pressure cooker because all that we were hearing was those taxes. And then I remember Rachel Maddow got released. She's going, we've got the list. We've got the taxes. And there was a nothing burger. At the end of the day, it fizzled. I'm just wondering, is it possible, I'll throw this out to the panel, is Trump again playing art of the deal, the art of war, where he's saying, oh no, I don't want this, I'll release. Now what are we doing? We have a whole stream dedicated to talking about this issue. MAGA is in turmoil. If you're watching the X platform, seeing right-wing pundits, Candace Owen and Ben Shapiro and Stephen Crowder, all these right-wing kind of named people. They're all at one another. People are yelling at one another. It's very interesting to watch. Hardcore loyalists like myself. And then there's other people saying, there's something going on. Trump's, causing trouble and he's a letdown and I'm burning my MAGA hat and all this nonsense. So my question is simply, what do you think that Trump's maybe, not that he doesn't want to release, in fact, he wants the exact opposite, but by saying no to it, it's starting to create a cauldron, like we're stoking this fire, and it's going to burst, and what are we going to see? I don't know.
Yeah,
Is it possible?
Yeah, I wanna ask Tristan and Irrelevant that question, right? And so
Okay.
maybe TLDR that. Trump is saying no and creating a controversy to bring attention and a spotlight to Epstein so that he can perform a gotcha and trick everyone into caring about the Epstein files. Is that kind of an accurate trail of what you said, Rachel?
I think that's the psychology that comes out. I wouldn't necessarily frame it as trick anyone. I just think it's manipulating. He's a dream twister, right?
Sorry,
He's
not
manipulating
manipulate
people.
everyone into caring about it. Fair
Yeah.
enough. Okay.
I'll take a crack at this first. I don't think Trump is good at making deals, but he does have a strategy for making deals, right? So we just disagree on the effectiveness of it. But I think that his strategy often doesn't include retaliation, right? He ran on a particular policy to get into office. And now that he is in office, he didn't have to do anything. I don't think he realized that his voter base would turn on him for not executing on this particular policy. There are policies that he's kind of, tacoed on that people are like, whatever. But I don't think he expected people to hold on to this for so long, as they rightfully should. We're talking about kids here. And I'm proud of anyone, especially Jake. Jake's on the opposite end, but he's flat out said, this is a problem. We need to address this. And we might disagree about the little nuances here and there. But to me, this people wanting to go after potential predators, if that's what it is, that makes me proud to be American. And there's not a lot of topics that we can talk about lately that give me that feeling anymore. So I don't think that this is part of his art of the deal. I think that this part of the deal he thought would be over by now. And it's the people that are thirsty for more.
Okay, Irrelevant, do you want to take a crack at it?
Yeah. So, I don't think it is an art of the deal. It doesn't really make sense in my mind for the art of the deal. What's the end game? If the end game is to make the Epstein list public, why not just push and pressure congressional Republicans to make it public, or make it public yourself? Why call it a hoax? It doesn't really make much sense.
Okay, I can answer the rationale for that would be so that it actually means something when it's finally revealed. If it's just revealed, people don't pay attention. They go, okay, yeah, so what? Yawn, next story.
With the Epstein list, you think that?
Oh yeah, if it had been done, because there's so much, because the Trump derangement syndrome, we call it on our side of the aisle, is that there's so much, Trump's doing a lot of good. There's so much being done with pedophile rings. There's one busted up in New Jersey. These things are happening all the time with this Department of Justice. And Trump's made that a real point of his administration. He's showing results with it, but it's not getting that much coverage. We've kind of fetishized this whole Epstein, that his case is somewhat worse than, the guy down the street doing it. It's become...
I mean, it kind of is, though, potentially, right? We're talking about potentially a nationwide or global pedophile ring of the most powerful people on earth. We're not talking about like still tragic and unfortunate, and they should all be locked up in prison forever, like a small time child trafficking ring. We're talking about like the end game child trafficking ring, potentially.
Yeah. Well, and we know that there's been problems like Jimmy Savile in out of England, the UK, you know, the BBC presenter with the Top of the Pops and all that. That became hugely controversial. And we do have the occasional politician that shows up, you know, gets caught up in something and, you know, they get arrested, and it does happen. But I mean, yeah, on one level, it's a big deal. I think the idea of the celebrity is even more than the people behind it. Like if it's some CEO, people go, yeah, who's that? But if it's J-Lo or something, everybody goes, oh, you hear about J-Lo? Or, you know, name your celebrity, you know, du jour, right? Sure. So there's some point to that irrelevant. I give you that I think it would be a big deal. It depends how the media would handle it. If the media decides to squash it, we see some pretty big stories like the Tim Walz story with the crazy guy that went out and was killing all these Democrats. And then he was saying, well, Tim Walz put me up to it. He wanted me to kill Amy Klobuchar. And and where's this guy gone? And then he's released this manifesto and he's further implicated. And then there was the fat, smelly guy, they call him, you know, the pizza guy. Papa John's, and he's out there talking and going, oh yeah, he was all MAGA, and it's like none of that's bearing out. The guy's married, the wife had passports, and that story kind of disappears. So we've seen before where high profile things, people just kind of disappear and we don't hear about it anymore. Oh, remember that guy? Well, that sure went out of the news cycle pretty quick.
I think we would probably agree to disagree. I think if no matter the conclusion of the Epstein files, I think this would be one of the biggest stories of the century, no matter if it's a nothing burger and especially if it has stuff in it. This is going to be one of the biggest stories in the century, no matter how it comes out.
Do you think also relevant, and also, I guess, for Tristan, do you think that also could Trump be playing games and delaying it or putting the brakes on this story because there is this bigger investigation going into this big RICO case that's undergoing by Kash Patel?
If that was the case, I would want Trump to vocalize it. I think Tristan said this earlier, and I would really have, I genuinely don't know why Trump wouldn't do this. Why not just lie if you're going to look incredibly bad? Why not just lie and say, we can't release the Epstein stuff because there's ongoing investigations?
I think,
or
again,
it might implicate victims.
But you wouldn't want him to go into details about that, right? Like I think we can acknowledge that.
Obvious, if there's ongoing investigations, do not let that play out.
In a situation, stretch that war metaphor. In war, if you can confuse the enemy, if you can keep them off balance, rather than telegraphing, here's what I'm doing, I'm going and putting it all out there. Maybe it's in his interest to say, I'm not doing it. Maybe that'll put the gaslight. Oh, the president's here. He's putting the brakes on it. Whew, I dodged a bullet. I'm one of the guilty ones. It's not going to come out. Thank goodness for that. You know, I mean, it's the idea. Confusion, right?
I mean, who's he at war with in this hypothetical? Like the American public? It's pretty bipartisan. Everybody wants to know what happened with Epstein. Everybody, right? Except for maybe some Republican pundits right now.
Well, I mean, it gets kind of interesting when you see Kevin Spacey talking about it, saying, "Let release the Epstein files." Somebody goes, "You idiot, you're on them." So it is kind of interesting the kind of people that are getting involved. We're hearing all sorts of people say it. I just say it adds to uncertainty, the confusion of war, as it were.
So I want to answer your question.
Is at war with the same people that tried to, whoever set that kid up in Butler, whoever set that Ruth idiot up at Mar-a-Lago in the bushes by the fence and all the rest. Go ahead, Trish.
Yeah, Rachel, before Tristan, before I get to you, or before they get to you really quickly, I just wanted to make a quick comment. I get it when it comes to celebrities, because back when the Epstein situation happened, a lot of these celebrities were saying this is just nonsense. Don't release the files. A lot of them were suing many of the YouTubers that were talking about these situations.
Right.
They didn't want these Epstein files to be released or pushing for it anyways. These MAGA. Hold on.
I was just going to back up what you were going to say about that.
Oh, go ahead, bro. I thought you were
I think it was like Stephen Miller or whatever, or the guy who wrote It. That guy, he
Oh,
came
yeah,
out the
yeah.
Epstein files.
Stephen
or-
King.
Stephen King.
Dude,
Oh,
and by
sorry,
the
my
way,
bad, I'm thinking-
those books, by the way, actually promote a lot of
Yes.
PDF shit.
Yes,
That's the
they
thing.
did.
That's
That's
the
what
ironic
made it
part
look so
about it.
bad.
I was just like, what are you talking about, Stephen King? Like you
you
write
think
about
hold
it
on.
in your book, bro.
Do you think it's
Crazy.
reasonable?
But
Because
really quick,
due to Stephen
No,
King's comment, do you think it's reasonable to at least have suspicions about him?
yes,
Yeah?
I definitely, I had some too, bro.
Yeah.
I
So
had
do you
some
think
too.
Yeah,
it's
that
Jimmy Kimmel-
reasonable to have suspicions about Trump?
Yeah, dude, same
Okay.
thing, Wick. Trust me, we're not on disagreements here, bro.
Okay.
We can do suspicions on every politician,
Finish your
every
point.
Hollywood
Go ahead.
celebrity. Totally got you there, bro. But what I'm saying is that I find it so ironic that many of these individuals that didn't talk about the Epstein list or they rejected it at the time are now coming out and saying, let's release it, right? Why is that? Who knows? But go ahead. We can shoot the question back to Tristan. I'm sorry I interrupted you, bro.
That's all good. Rachel, do you mind just repeating your question?
Oh God, I forget even what it was.
Okay, it was similar. You were asking if do we think that Trump is using like a bigger case and that's why he's not releasing the Epstein files?
Yeah, because we do know
Yeah.
that big case is underway. We know it's happening right now.
My response to that is I think it's the opposite. I think that anytime there's negative press about Trump, he has something in his back pocket that he pulls out to try to distract people with. So like I don't have an example right now that I can think of, but I've noticed in the news cycle, whenever something that could be very, very bad for Trump comes out, just a day or two later, he pulls something out of his back pocket. Sometimes it's like there's truth associated with it. Sometimes there's not. And I think that's all it is right now.
Yeah, I think that's part of the political game. We've seen CNN do that. Some good news happens for Trump, and then they'll break a story. Oh, guess what just happened? And then, oh, okay, now there's a new story taking over the headlines, right? Gatekeeper effect through media.
Yeah. So you agree that's bad, right? 'Cause I agree that's bad. Okay.
Well, it's politics. It's the state of it's the world we live in, right? It's us, and them. At the end of the day, right?
Can I answer Rachel's question about the art of the deal perspective here?
Yeah.
Look, I'll tell you this. I've seen this from many people that support Trump about he's playing 3D chess, etc.
Yeah.
Now,
4D.
are there some 4D chess? I'm sorry, 4D chess, 5D chess, whatever.
I don't think it matters. Go ahead.
60D chess, whatever the fuck it is. Who cares?
Yeah.
The point is that I've seen this plenty of times, this type of narrative. Now, were there some occasions where it played out pretty well? Sure. But when it came to, for example, the Elon Musk situation, I remember when he said, oh, Trump is in the Epstein files and this is why he's not releasing it. And that was a big old fucking story right there. And I saw people, even in my chat, saying that this could be some type of 3D chess thing. I said, guys, I don't think it is. I think this is a real beef. And I think that Elon was upset because of the big, beautiful bill, etc. And he donated so much money to Trump to kind of get him in office, which, by the way, I think, let me ask you guys this. The moment that Trump survived the assassination attempt, do you believe that Trump actually won the election at that point in time? Wick, would you say that was the case?
I think that combined with the push out of Biden sealed the deal, kind of.
Yeah, that sealed the deal.
Yeah.
But remember, his support, Elon's support, came after that assassination attempt. So if you believe that maybe he already won it prior before, I mean, Elon probably contributed to it, but was it the set in stone thing there? But I think that's what Elon was pissed about. And again, Trump supporters said it's 3D, 5-3, whatever chess. And I don't think that's always the case, Rachel. I'll just leave it at that. I don't think that's always the case.
Well,
but I agree with you on that.
let me ask a question to the panel, a couple ones to kind of get us back on track. We got about 20 minutes left. Did Epstein kill himself? What do you think?
That's a good question.
So I'll just start with this because I actually didn't really understand a lot of the controversy of this. I firmly could see Epstein as having killed himself. The question isn't whether or not he killed himself for me. The question is why he potentially killed himself. Like, did he kill himself because they were like, hey, if you don't kill yourself, we're going to like kill your entire family or we're going to do this, like whatever shit. You got to get this shit done. Maybe that was the MO already known, stuff like that. I don't know. It could be, it's technically, it could be possible that there was no outside pressure whatsoever and he just couldn't handle it and then killed himself or whatever. But I don't think that's the important question is whether or not he actually killed himself. It's like why he might or might
they
not.
did release they did release footage from his cell, but there is 2 minutes missing and it is edited
1 minute,
footage.
Wick.
2 minutes,
Not
30
his cell.
seconds. 36 seconds.
Yeah, it's a
No,
minute and
it was 1 minute from right when it hit I believe midnight or 11:59. It goes all the way to midnight. So it was 1 minute missing right there. But
I've
honestly,
heard CoffeeZilla say 3 minutes, but it might have been 1 minute from that one timestamp.
oh, it could be
So
that. Maybe there was
It's 2
multiple
minutes
ones, but-
36 seconds total. That were
Oh
Yeah,
wow.
and
Okay,
somebody
that
else-
backs it up even more.
Yeah,
But-
and they analyzed it and they said that there were about 5 edits within that period of time that were done. Somebody deconstructed it.
Okay, so given that
reverse
this was
engineered
released
it.
by Kash Patel's FBI, right?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, I
do you
know.
think he
That's
edited
why we're
this?
very upset about the situation, especially when Dan Bongino. And I'll ask you this, Rachel. Dan Bongino, Kash Patel, before they went into office, they were talking about the Epstein files. They said we need to be released. All of a sudden, they kind of changed, situations here. Why do you think that was, in your opinion?
no,
do you,
I'm
do,
not
do you
ver-
still
I'm
trust
not-
them?
Oh yeah, they have my complete trust. Absolutely, I trust the administration. I wanted to just add one thing about did Epstein kill himself? I just want to say that one of the last jobs I did before retirement. Very elderly. I'm very elderly. But before I quit working, I worked at a local jail. Right, so not like a prison, but more think Mayberry RFD. If anybody remembers the old Andy Griffith show, Otis, see yourself in and out of the jail. It was like one of those. But what I did there is we had television for the guys in the cell, so we were monitoring them all the time, and we had a journal where we had to every 15 minutes write what the prisoner is up to. The sole reason they did that, because we've got a lot of drunks in there, they'd get depressed and they try and off themselves. So we had them under monitoring. We had them under surveillance the full time that they were in custody. Now, in the case of Epstein, the original story that went out, there shouldn't even be any camera because they told us that the cameras were down, that the cameras were malfunctioning. There was no footage to be seen. The second thing was that the guards left their posts and went on a coffee break, which you're not supposed to do. There was never a time during my shift where these guards were not there. It would be like a handoff I would do to another guard before somebody came in. Go ahead.
Yeah. Did you ever have, because this guy he was on suicide watch, correct?
Yes,
Or
and
am
he was
I-
on,
yeah,
top on top of it all, he was actually on suicide
Yeah.
watch.
Yeah, so that's because he should, beyond having a person stationed there, he should have a person stationed there because he was on suicide watch.
Completely correct. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's.
I want to clarify something. So they are still claiming that the camera was down, the camera that was over his specific cell door. So the one that everyone's passing around is adjacent to it. You can only see the stairs leading to it, and you can barely see that. But there is footage of a prisoner who, after lockdown, I believe lockdown is at 8 p.m., around sometime between 10 and 11 p.m., there was a prisoner that went up and down those stairs. Don't know if it was Epstein, don't know if it was someone else. There are accounts from he had a roommate, and the roommate noticed he was collecting items to assist in unaliving himself. But that's, to me, that's circumstantial. That could be true, that could be false. There is also that his lawyer said that he didn't try to do it to himself the first time around. But again, it's the powerful people can make people say whatever. So I don't even accept that as 100% truth. Personally, I think that I'm like 60% he did it to himself, 40% he didn't. And I'm stuck wondering why didn't he do it the first time? It's not the first time he's been arrested and convicted. So I don't know what the difference is between the first time and this time.
Just real quick, $5 from
Wait.
Old School, and then you can ask me your question. Say, John, because I have more for you guys, but John Stewart coined this whole 3D chess BS in reference to Obama. It was false then. Obviously, Obama was a mediocrity. Thank you for the $5. Okay, ask me your question.
Yeah, I was going to ask you. Well, I'm going to ask the panel really quick. If you guys know, I'm going to look it up right now. How long was Epstein in prison before he apparently deleted himself? Do you know?
I don't know.
I've no earthly idea. No earthly idea.
Or he.
I don't think it was like months or something, right? It was.
Well, that's why I'm guessing, because this is very important information here on the length of time that he was in there. 36 days, according to what I just said.
That's longer
here.
than I thought.
That's literally just a month. You're telling me that this guy, apparently from the reports, right? This is the narrative, that he deleted himself and he was only in prison for 36 days before the apparent suicide. Again, that's crazy to me. that's kind of a weird coincidence there. That again, going back to your question, I do believe that he did not do that. It makes no sense that this guy had billions of dollars. He was on top of the fucking world. He's been on top of the world for years. He's rubbed elbows with many celebrities. He gets caught. He's in prison for 36 days. And then their narrative is that he offed himself. That's kind of weird to me there.
On top of his best friend being the president.
Okay, now.
So the next question I have for you.
Come on, bro. Well, if it was his best friend, then how did he get? Remember, if Trump was his best friend, then
I'm being hyperbolic. So
remember, at the time
they were close friends for 10 years, I think, and then they had a falling out, according to Trump, over real estate.
It was
deal.
like in the 80s, yeah.
So it could have been that he was seeking a plea deal. I don't know. I don't want to get too conspiratorial because it was Trump's DOJ. So I don't know. I'm just gonna say I don't know.
Should Ghislaine, I don't know how to pronounce it. Ghislaine Maxwell be allowed to testify in front of Congress?
I think she should. I
I don't see a reason why she shouldn't. We should be the people present should be the deciders as to the merit of her testimony.
Not only that, Ghislaine specifically said that she was going to give out the quote unquote client list that is now non-existent. So I would say, yeah, let's get her to testify.
I don't trust it. I think what would be better is to make the trial public, the information from the trial. I think I was upset that trial wasn't televised. I really wanted to see everything.
Yeah, that wasn't.
I think that she's been in jail too long. She could be saying whatever she has to say. The only way I would trust it is if there is a level of corroboration. But this isn't being held in a court, right? So like she can say whatever she wants, and I need more than that.
Mm-hmm.
I do believe you are still under oath in front of Congress, though. I still think that you can get dinged.
You're right.
And you do have to realize that
Congress.
Ghislaine Maxwell could definitely lie on the court. Remember, she's fucked at this point. Who knows what she's going to get out of that in general if she does testify.
Shoot, Trump could give her a pardon. They could have a deal. Like
that's true. That could be a deal if you testify. That's a good point. So if the deal's right and she has a reason to tell the truth, then I would say if you guys would be okay with it. I don't know. Let me get the gentleman on my left-hand side. What do you think about that?
About her testifying or her getting a pardon?
Yeah. Would you say that if she was able to get a plea deal to where instead of 20 years, she gets 5 years, but she were to testify to get those client lists, would you do that? Or maybe 10 years? What would be your threshold there?
I'm gonna it's gonna sound like a cop-out, but I actually would need testimony from other people about her likelihood to reoffend, because if she is getting a reduced sentence, she might reoffend, and that's something I really would not like to accept, and her likelihood to tell the truth. If she's very likely to lie, based on people who know her better than me.
Okay.
Right.
So it's kind of more or less if we have an idea of that.
Yeah, if we have an idea that she's likely to tell the truth and that she's probably not going to start up another ring again, then yeah, let's
be honest, bro, would you really trust a PDF trafficker here at this point? I would say there's no.
She's probably going to, yeah.
Exactly.
She's going to save her skin. Yeah, I don't think her testimony is worth the paper it's going to be written on. Yeah.
I mean, if we can get her testimony without a reduced sentence, I'm all for it. But or if we can
that's not going to happen though.
Reasonably guarantee that she's going to be dead no matter what. But I don't know how long she's in prison right now.
She has to have a motivation, right?
I think she got 20 years from maybe. I think it's 20 years. I think it's 20 years.
Quite a bit of time.
It's not uncommon for people to eventually tell the truth when they're in prison. So that is one thing. It's just the nature of what is there a deal and what is the deal. That's really what it will come down to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree.
I guess my last question for the evening, and then we will, if you guys have any more discussion things, we can go into that, and then we'll go into closings and all that. My last question for the evening, if the list never gets released, what happens? And what I mean by that is does this go away? So I think Trump, let me finish my thought here. Trump is banking on that people will eventually forget about. There's been influencers who says no one really actually cares about this. This is just gonna be a passing fad. It's just gonna blow over after a few months, and it'll be fine. No, everyone will start talking about the next conspiracy theory or the next big thing. How accurate do you think this is? What happens next if it doesn't get released for whatever reason? Do people just forget about it and move on? What do we think?
Wick, can I answer that really quickly? Just really
You all
quickly.
can
I think
answer
one big component that's going to affect if Trump at least doesn't give some type of information here. Give us something, anything here at this point. But I think if he doesn't release anything, it's going to affect the midterms by far. It's going to affect the midterms because this is a high-profile case that Trump is saying that nobody cares about. And if he continues that route all the way to midterms, I think that's going to affect it. And I think the Democrats are going to get some type of either the House or the Senate or something here. So I think it's going to be a massive effect on the Republican Party if he doesn't release something there. So
let me jump off. Let me jump off of that. So the question specifically, what if it never gets released under Trump? Then I would hope it gets released under the next, at the very least, Democratic president, because it's on record. They better not have been posturing. On record, all of these Democrats said, they formed the cloud of, hey, I want this to be released. I'll vote to have this released. So I hope that wasn't just clout farming, and the next opportunity they actually get to do it when they have control of Congress, they better fucking do it. But also, following up on the midterms, if it happens in the midterms, I'm expecting the exact same thing. If we win the midterms on the basis that the Republicans were totally incompetent as to release the Epstein files, then all of those people better hand on a Bible. Once they get elected, release the Epstein files. That should be your magnum opus of getting elected into that position, right? You're not going to farm the clout of, they're not doing anything about Epstein. And the moment that it comes time for you to hold the check, you're not going to pass that buck. That's not going to happen.
I can see that.
You kids had a bit of a giggle at me when I go, I trust Trump. I like Trump. There's a typical leftist response is, giggle. But I hold the same. I have the same kind of doubt. If the Democrats do get in power, which they are. I mean, they're at 19% approval right now. I mean, they're dying. I guess some poll came out. But anyway, they aren't going to win the midterms. Trump's fine. Trump's very confident in what he's doing. That's why he was able to do that tweet today, or that post, or that truth, where he basically said, I don't need you, go away, go somewhere else. And there really is nowhere else to go. And he's supremely confident. You're dealing with a supremely confident president right now. But as to where it's all going to go, if it is buried, I kind of picture that scene in Raiders of the Lost Ark. The Ark of the Covenant is, in that museum boxed away somewhere. And, you've got this amazing treasure that's so central to Jewish religion, traditional Judaism. And, it's gold and it's got all this fantastic power, and it's gone and forgotten for the most part. You'll always get a remnant of people floating around the JFK files, Bobby Kennedy, Martin Luther King Jr., all the, you've got the people that are always interested in those sort of things, Charlie Manson, the true crime community, all that. But the vast majority will move on to the next thing. And they'll just throw their hands up. Well, that's all you can do. Typical government, you can't win. There's two things you're guaranteed of: taxes and the grave,
Okay.
So that's my take on that.
I have a guy, a friend of the channel, Lactoid TV, who wants to ask one question before we get to closing statements. And you know what? It's his birthday. So as a present, I'm going to let him come on and ask his one question. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So happy birthday to Lactoid. Everyone wish him happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Lactoid.
Okay.
Welcome back.
This is your present. Ask your question.
Okay. On True Social, Donald Trump said that he no longer wants the support of people who are buying into the Jeffrey Epstein scam. As somebody who voted for Trump in 2024, should I continue to support him, or does he no longer want my support?
That's a great question. Can I start off with that one? To be honest, man, look, here's the thing. We need to be as MAGA Trump supporters, because at the end of the day, Trump is just the face. The face is replaceable after 2028. Okay. But at the end of the day, he's the one that has the best representation for us at this point in time. than any other politician, especially Democrats, etc. I would say, look, yeah, the dude fucking said some fucking silly thing, and I totally get you there. Am I going to just throw the fucking baby out with the bathwater? I wouldn't do that. I would say, no, I'm
Not
still
the
going to support
babies.
him.
Epstein loves the baby. So does Trump. But go ahead.
Oh my
really
God.
quick,
Why would
really
you
quick.
throw it out?
Wick, so it's funny because
Perfectly
Wick.
usable baby.
So again, really quick. Wick, of course, is supposed to be a non-biased moderator, but he's been
I'm
biased
not
the
a
whole fucking
non-biased
time.
moderator.
Really
Who
quick,
said
really
that?
quick, Wick. So let me finish here, Wick, please. But the point is, though, is that I wouldn't throw the baby out with the bathwater. I would still support the guy, but I understand the situation that because he made those comments, especially when midterms come around, do not be surprised that people like you that are that are making that decision that should I support him or not, it's going to bite him in the ass. You know? So there's
Hey,
my.
do you have a
You're
different
going,
answer,
oh,
Rachel?
I'm all in on Lindsey Graham now. Damn Trump. I don't think it's going to happen.
So, well, his question is,
MAGA does what MAGA will do. What Trump's doing there is separating the sheep and goats. So what he's saying is that it doesn't even impact people like me. It's not directed. The comment isn't for MAGA base. It's for those other people that are floating around with that have divided loyalties with other things. And Trump's confident his base is loyal to him. Trump's banking it on people like me that are very loyal to him and have trust in the administration. That comment was not directed to his base. It was directed to the Candace Owens of the world and the Viva Phrase and all these other pundits that are there in social media.
okay,
The problem is that Republicans need them to win. Like the elections aren't decided by the far left or the far right. They're decided by the middle ground. Like the people you're saying are wishy-washy. That's who decides elections.
Middle ground, frankly. But $10 from Doobie to say, I declare a fatwa against all YouTube slang users. I hope a shark tries to sook your pooner. Happy birthday, Lactoid. Okay. Pooner, I'm not sure.
Can I just
answer
get
the
a
question,
quick response to the show? I want because I would say pretty plainly he's saying he doesn't want your support, but also like I want that noted that this is all a controversy, not about people saying Trump should be in prison for a list or files that we haven't seen, right? This is about people just wanting the list or the files to be public, right? So he's making all of this noise saying, I don't want anybody who is pro the Epstein hoax on my side. Pro the Epstein hoax means you want the list public. That is the people. That's what's going on. That's what the movement is about. It's not about arresting Trump over this stuff. That's not what this is about. So I think that's pretty wild, a radical position that he has there. But also,
go ahead.
So can I just ask Rachel one question? Is there? This is a little bit. If Donald Trump was, let's say, deeply in the Epstein list, would you not support him after that? Is that something that could break your support for him?
No, not the list. What would support me is if the truth of it, that he's out banging kids, he'd be dead right now to me. And I'd say lock him up and throw away the key.
How could you, what proof would you need?
Well, the truth would be the forensics would have to go through it. And then I'd have to look at people like Dan Bongino and Kash Patel and other individuals whose integrity I trust. Pam Bondi, I don't know enough about. Kash Patel, I know a little bit about. And Dan Bongino, I know a lot more about because he was a podcaster.
So Trump's own administration would have to say that he's a pedo.
Yeah, and people that I respect, that we all respect that way for sure.
Okay,
yeah.
Right. I'm curious.
Well, first of all, before you go, Tristan, I just want to make sure. Lactoid, did they answer your question to your satisfaction?
Well, they answered my question. I mean, I know I said just one question, but I do appreciate it. I know it's not.
Did all of us answer it directly? Because I feel like I answered the actual question here.
Well, you did. I think right now it's just, again, I was feeling pretty like mind blown and hurt, and then we get this response. I mean, Jesus Christ.
No, I understand, bro. Trust me, bro. I'm just like, what the fuck are you doing, bro? Like, yeah, I get it, man. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Okay. The other thing is Trump's in a situation where on some level, usually it's, after the first 2 years of the term, becomes a dead duck president or lame duck, right? The lame duck thing. I mean, he's not going to be back for another term. This is it. So he doesn't need the support. He's done his work. It's been done now, right? He still wants, I mean, in
Yeah, but
terms of getting
Rachel, we still need to
different
elect a president for 2028. So there is some repercussions
yeah,
there.
but there'll be,
Also,
I
he
know,
could get
but there'll be,
impeached after the midterms.
but it's not going to be him. It's not going to be Trump. It's
Yeah,
not, Trump's
I
not going
understand
to
that, but if we were
He's
to put in
82 years
another
old.
MAGA politician, I think his words do matter at this point.
Well,
Even
I mean,
though,
who is the other MAGA though? Who name
What-
me another MAGA? There is none. It's a cult of personality. I mean, at its worst, the critics of Trump say he's a demagogue, and on some level, he is. You know, he's a massive
like-
personality.
he is
You
a
don't like
massive
JD
personality.
Vance?
Okay, Lactoid, we love you, but we're gonna
Well,
let you
JD,
go.
point-
even
well,
JD,
no,
even
his
The
JD
point
has
was that
challenges.
JD doesn't have the same clout as Trump did, at the time when
Yeah.
he ran, and that's true. There's not a guy that's going to replace Trump. I mean, that's just going to happen. But however, I think
yeah.
us as MAGA or people, Republicans, we do need to start catering to the next person up here. It's just kind of like football. We need to draft the next
Too
young guy.
early, yeah, but too early in the game yet. We're early
No,
innings here.
I think it's an
6
appropriate time to
months
do it now. We only have
Okay,
3 years.
I
Okay.
disagree. I think
Okay,
we still
fair
got time. No, what
enough.
I would like us to do, and Wick, you know what would be great for this is, God willing, we're all, especially me, I'm the old one. God willing, we're all alive next year, and then we all convene here, and by that time, this Epstein situation may be a little bit in the rearview mirror. Wouldn't that be an interesting show? And then you could see what we talked about at this point in history, and now with the advantage of hindsight, looking at it back on it a year from now. I think
We'll
it'll be
see what
interesting.
happens. $10 from It Starts With Saturn to say, to me, whether or not Epstein killed himself is tangential to the main issue. This won't go away unless prominent figures are prosecuted over this. Release the names from those backbinders. Thank you for the $10. Gang, this has been a show. We've had some crazy ideas thrown around. We have some crazy responses to those crazy ideas. It's been a discussion, okay? Thank you for coming. I'm going to give each of these lovely individuals a chance to close out, to tell people their closing thoughts, where you can find them, and please do. They've given their time, their energy, in order to come and give you content, so please reward them. I have links to all their stuff in my YouTube description. You click that link and you can give them a follow, subscribe, whatever they want, right? If you've liked this content, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, throw me some coin, okay? We got some great shows coming up. Tomorrow is a big one at 6 p.m. Eastern. Destiny has been making some dead kid jokes. Counterpoints and Erudite are going to yell at him on my show about that. And Soypill's going to defend Destiny. So that'll be a show. So tune in for that at 6 p.m. Eastern. Yeah. Then on Friday, there's a Wick and Tally show where we're going to talk about, we might have a big guest coming on. I won't announce him yet until we get the 100%. And then on Sunday, he was supposed to happen last Sunday, but he had some family stuff going on. We're going to have History Speaks, and he's going to come on my show and tell me why I'm getting Gaza wrong. So with that, we are going to go to closings. And we're going to go first to Tristan, and then we're going to end with Relly. So Tristan, close us out.
All right. If anyone out there wants to learn how to make money using Uber and Lyft, I have a YouTube channel for that. It's called Future Rideshare Millionaire. The goal isn't to become a millionaire using rideshare. It's using rideshare as a stepping stone to find that next part of your life that can help you achieve that status. So I don't have a political channel yet, but I will someday. And I plan on coming back here to sharpen my skills until I do.
Check him out, gang. Thanks for being here. Really appreciate you. Rachel, go ahead.
Tristan. Yeah. So Ghost Town Politics, 12 noon Pacific time, Monday to Friday. And I just want to thank you, Wick, for being a gracious host and having a crazy MAGA type on like myself. And also to Sarah Raging Tomato, who bridged the gap and got me here today. I had a lot of fun, a lot of respect for the panelists. Everybody was thinking clearly. There's a lot of knowledge here. And I had a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. A good group. All right.
Glad you like it, and maybe we'll have you on again sometime. Gang, check her out, check her channels out, and its links are in my YouTube description. Next up, Jake Var. Go ahead.
First off, thanks for having me on, man. I had a lot of fun, especially going back and forth with the gentleman on my left. Had a lot of fun doing that. I do like going back and forth with individuals that I disagree with. I think it's healthy for that. To Tristan, by the way, bro, very much like the exchange that I had with you, bro. I think you're pretty collective on your thoughts. You know, you have some pretty good takes, even though we disagree on stuff. I did enjoy you as well. Maybe I'll look at your YouTube channel so that I can maybe make some money on the side with Lyft or something like that, man. So I appreciate that. But overall, man, had a lot of fun, and shout out to the Raging Tomato because she was also the one that recommended me to Wick. So shout out to her as well. Wick, I appreciate it, even though I will say you're pretty biased in this moderation. It felt like I was arguing with 3 people here, but it is what it is. But dude, honestly, I appreciate it, man. Honestly, I would love to come back and scrap it out with any other liberals that you put in front of me.
Fair enough. Thank you, and check his channel out. The link is in my YouTube description. But yeah, just if you've seen my content, you know that I get involved in my discussions because I am not a non-biased moderator. If you want a non-biased moderator, there are other moderators that you can go to. But if you want one that will give his opinion, that's me. Last but certainly not least, Irrelevant.
Thank you for having me on, Wick. I appreciate the invitation. I appreciate the conversation. And for the individual Jake, who I went back and forth with, yeah, I mean, I appreciate you going back and forth in comparison to at least people who just like bitch out and just will sit there and kind of throw shade and not do an actual proper back and forth. I think it is a far superior position to be in for an actual proper back and forth. So I appreciate it. Yeah, it is AH relevant on all these different platforms, Kick, YouTube, and Twitch. And the last thing I want to say is Tristan, what the fuck are you doing with your lighting, bro? That shit is crispy, man. That's some crispy ass
It is
light.
good. It's really good.
Thank you.
That's true. It is really good. That's facts.
Okay, check him out, gang. Go to his Kick channel, go to his YouTube channel, give him follows, give him subscribes, give him love. We love Irrelevant here. Thank you for being here. And with that, bye-bye, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.